as soon as I pulled the trigger on my release, like just the angle that my bow was at, I was like, missed him. Shot over top. He was at 20 yards. I was using my 30-yard pin.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We've all done that. The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Predator Camo.
Man, this one feels good, right? I know people have been looking at this picture over your shoulder for a while now. I think that was 2018, but we just, over the last, how many years, keep coming back to Predator Camo because it's been so damn good for us.
No doubt. I think we bought our first set off of Jen at the Archer Trade Show almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Jen's still with the company, and the patterns have only improved since then. They actually were recently acquired within the past couple of years. We've had a chance this past year to go and meet with new ownership, talk about redesigning a lot of the old lines, plans for new patterns, all of the above. So really excited about what's to come, not only this coming year, but in years to come. There's a lot of good stuff coming from Predator.
Yeah, and I mean, for us, it's always been going back to that breakup pattern, right? That's the historic look, whether you're talking about the spring greens or brown deceptions or fall grays.
Yeah.
I mean, that breakup is really what's been so powerful for us in a tree stand. And right now, they're letting anyone use the code HUNTR on the Predator Camo website and get 20% off any of the lines, including all the new stuff that dropped here in July.
Be the Predator.
And we're back.
Hey,
HUNTR Podcast, episode 281. 281.
There you go. Jared keeping you honest.
I
on
know
this one
about
here.
that. You've been on top
From
of this.
across the table. A little bit. There's a memory component that has been sticking with me. So.
Is that from watching the previous one or just like in the
No,
flow?
No, just in the flow. I think it's that it's that October.
Yeah.
We're tracking things now. We're tracking moon. We're tracking patterns. We're tracking
You're tracking
podcast
moon. I'm not
episodes.
tracking moon.
You know what I think? Honestly, dude, we can get into this today. Brackett pitched me on this idea of the dark side of the moon, like this 10-day thing.
Was it Pink Floyd? Yeah.
It basically is like subdued deer movement 10 days following the full moon. And I've never paid attention to that, but I did this past 10 days, and I would venture to say all other variables the same. It seems to have proven itself.
I think
In this specific instance, I'm on it.
I think the hardest part is like it's because that's purely observation. You're just saying because your cameras.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're moving and doing something. It's just you're not seeing them on camera.
That's right. So before we get going here, I appreciate everybody listening, whether you're tuning on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Those are the three places that we drop these episodes. We do that every Tuesday and Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the duration of the season. If you have written us on Instagram DM or the website, those are the two that we try to check the most frequently. I actually responded to a few emails the other day, so you'd be proud of me. Somebody wanted to know what decoy Melissa used, so I shot it back there real quick. It's a DSD.
She's a killer.
She's a killer. We have some merch on the website, and maybe potentially someday a new website coming. Jeremy, wink.
Maybe.
And but in the meantime, you can use our code HUNTR HUNTR on any of our partners' website for a discount of some way, shape, or form. And other than that, here we go.
Here we go. In studio guests, we've got.
Sorry about that, guys.
We've got a run of like in studio. I guess. Well, we had Pedro in between Steve, and now
that's right.
We've got Zac and Kevin in studio.
Yep. So Zac Keim and Kevin Mullet. So Kevin, you've been on before, and Zac, you just shot a giant buck in Ohio. And so you were asking, why did you ask us to come on? It's like, I don't know. Did you shot a giant buck, and you're friends of friends, and you're from Ohio, so it's a close drive, and we appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
It'll be exciting. Like we were just talking before the podcast. It's like it's just four dudes sitting around a table shooting the shit, wishing we all shot bucks like Zac shot.
Yeah, man. Well, so let's start with this. I was asking you guys kind of on the way in here how you guys know each other. If one of you wants to take that.
Yeah. So in like 2020-ish, I shot a buck pretty early, and so did Kevin. And so I was looking. I think that was kind of like when THP was really starting to pop off. And so, public land videos, I was like, dude, I got to go hunt public land somewhere. So I posted something on Instagram about going out of state, and Kevin DM'd me. He's like, dude, I would totally go along. And I was like, well, yeah, go ahead. Like, I'm looking for somebody to go with.
That was pretty much it. I remember seeing that you shot a buck and was kind of following that story of that buck. You'd posted
just on Instagram. You're like, this guy's local to me or whatever. Or?
Yeah,
we had mutual friends too.
Yeah,
you do. Okay.
We knew of each other. We didn't know each other well, but we knew of each other.
Gotcha.
And had an awesome trip. I mean,
Where'd you go?
Big Deer, Indiana.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you guys kill deer in Indiana?
We did not. We should have.
Yeah.
I should have.
We had a pretty good area, I feel like. And Kevin dropped his bow out of the tree the first morning. So
not a good start.
Broke the sight off.
Kevin.
Yeah, snapped my. Actually, I was lowering my bow. My bow rope snapped.
Oh.
Broke my sight off.
Your bow rope snapped.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was
afraid or something.
I was letting my backpack, which had a bunch of weight in it, lost the bow down at the same time, and it just tore clean off. And
was it like an old, like dry rotted rope, kind of like that?
Broke the sight off. So we spent the rest of the day trying to find a site for Kevin.
We drove like 2 hours, went and got a sight.
That's kind of the best thing that could happen, right? Though, I mean, if it's gonna break, like at least you can just put a new sight on it.
Right. Yep.
Nothing else happened.
No, but then that afternoon we came back and I was late.
You saw a good one that morning too, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw a good buck that morning. And then that afternoon I was late getting back in because of the whole bow fiasco.
Yeah.
Just picked my tree out, got my sticks out, was getting ready to go up the tree, and I hear a grunt. I look over. This is middle of the afternoon, and this beautiful
November. I see.
Yeah, beautiful 10-pointer comes running up the draw right at me. He passed me at 12 yards, and I was trying to fumble, trying to get an arrow out of my quiver to shoot him. I was on the ground still, but I mean, had that not happened, theoretically, I would have possibly been there earlier and killed that deer. But we ended up. I mean, we saw a good deer. I think every day somebody saw a shoot a buck.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to the Born Again guys, and they said we started talking about it. I was like, yeah, we went to Indiana, and they're like, yeah, we went to Indiana too. It's like, where were you guys? And they're like, well, where were you guys? They started looking at pins. We were hunting the same draw.
Unreal.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and he said one of their guys actually hit a nice buck there, but now, so when we were there, remember all those trees that they had painted?
Yeah. Yep.
That's all clear cut now. So
Interesting.
we're gonna have to start from scratch, I guess.
You've mentioned those guys a few times. I've definitely heard of that Born Again. Do they do a production as well, or is it mainly a podcast?
They do. They have a podcast. They do have a YouTube channel. A lot of their podcasts I don't think are videoed, but the one with me, they did video.
Cool. And are they Ohio guys?
Yeah, they're pretty local to me actually. Me and Kevin Berkey live in the same town, and Matt Williams is local too.
I've heard of Kevin before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Maybe we've met those guys before.
Probably.
In passing or something. But
yeah, they're cool guys.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome that you guys just ponied up and you're like, we'll go together. That's a testament, I think, to like, I would do something like that. You know?
And I mean, so you're talking, that's 2020, so that's the COVID year, right? So like at that time, it's like, we don't, because I think that was the first year
we were in Shawnee Forest in Illinois in 2020.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was the same year we did NODAC for the first year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's where like it was overrun with people.
Yeah, well, we did not have a great experience on public and all, but that's what I was kind of waiting to hear if you were going to have the same there, is because like COVID, everybody flocked to, and maybe the THP thing was kind of happening at that time too. It was busy.
There was a lot of people, I would say, but like where we were at, I'm not really sure why.
That property, I mean, that specific piece, there was not. I mean, just down the road, remember we helped that other guy drag that buck out. Yeah. But I mean, up there where we were at, we didn't really see anybody. There were some old tree stands and stuff.
I think maybe there wasn't really like a good place to park.
Yeah, we kind of made a place.
If you didn't have a 4-wheel drive truck, you weren't gonna park.
Well, that's probably a key piece of it. I mean, most people just overlook it. They're like, I can't park here. It's not easy.
Well, a lot of people overlook Indiana, period, just because it's like, I mean, I don't know why.
We talk about it all the time. I think number one is they have
early gun season.
That's
$2.
I was gonna say
when
we were leaving, it got busy. Remember the campground? Because we were leaving the day before rifle season. And I mean, there was rifle hunters packing into that campground like crazy.
I think season ends January 1st too, if I remember right.
Yeah,
so it ends a little bit earlier than Ohio, but I think Southern Indiana and Southern Ohio, in my opinion, are pretty much identical as far as terrain.
I would agree.
And buck quality for the most part too, I think too.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Wayne National Forest in Southern Ohio. You got Hoosier National Forest in Southern Indiana. And I mean, very similar terrain, hill country, big woods.
So all the non-residents go to Indiana, please.
Well, we drive. We drive right through it on the way to Illinois and stuff all the time, and I don't know, just for whatever reason. Like,
remember we leased the property there? We had that one really big 8-point show up at one time.
That was like kind of
it was like a
residential area, right? Yeah, there was a big 8-point, and then the next picture was like a meth head, like
tweaking
through, you know.
Yeah, I found one of the biggest tracks I've ever seen.
We never hunted that. Never hunted that. It was right next to like a campground thing.
Our cameras are still there.
Yeah, well, Well, one got stolen immediately. That was kind of a deterrent. We put one out, and then I'm pretty sure the neighbor like saw our headlights back there, and then went back the next day.
Immediately.
There must be something with crackheads in southern Indiana because that one
for sure.
When the one Tacticam I put back in there, I mean, there's no feasible way to get a truck or a vehicle of any sort back there. And one day I just get a picture like early morning of a Jeep Grand Cherokee going back this logging road. And I was like, how did you possibly get back there with a vehicle?
It's wild, man. But I've got one spot up here on the mountain that it's a huge ridge. And I mean, you have to hike up in there pretty good. And every once in a while you'll get a guy or another hunter on there, but not often. And like one morning I wake up and there's a full-size pickup truck like driving through the woods. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, how did you even get up there? How are you going to get out of there? It's just
it's crazy.
It's amazing how maybe neither of those guys were hunters, but it's amazing how during deer season people just come out of the woodwork. Like places you're like, oh, nobody could ever get back here, or like this place doesn't seem like it's getting any pressure, and then all of a sudden you're like, it'd be 4 a.m. in the morning, and freaking it's like this guy's coming over the woods. I got this pictures of this Amish kids like running down that creek the other day. That is way back in there.
Oh yeah,
that's like a mile and a half back in this like draw. There's just two dudes full Amish attire, denim on denim, and
just churning butter back there.
Churning it up. I assume looking for some kind of deer sign or whatever,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Yeah, but it is public land, so well that's cool. Have you guys been going back and hunting together since, or
no? It's never lined up since then. No, I haven't told you this yet. I'm planning on going back out there though. So
the plan's been revealed now.
Yeah. Same draw.
So if I don't know yet, but so my brother lives in Indiana now, so I kind of want to go out there and hunt with him.
There you go.
So where he hunts his in-laws farm in Ohio, but it's a 2-deer county, and he's an arrow flinger. He shot 2 does already, so he's like, I got to go somewhere to shoot a buck. So I was like, all right, I'll come to Indiana.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's a 2-deer county, and he shot 2 does, so he can't shoot a buck now even.
In that county.
He uses 2 either sex tags on this. Wow. Yep. In that county. So
in that county.
Right.
He can go kill a buck in another county.
Interesting.
Well, I don't know if it goes by county. I think it goes by zones.
No, it's county now.
Is it county now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
with a max of, I forget what the stack on is.
6.
Right.
6 deer state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in a 3-deer county where we're at, Columbia and Carroll County.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Although we're supposed to go to a 2-deer because of the EHD stuff here.
In your counties.
Right before gun season, they'll knock it down to a 2-deer.
Yeah.
That's the plan at least, or at least what they said they were going to do.
That's cool. Well, so Zach, how old are you, first of all?
I'm 30.
30? And so you've done most of your hunting then in Ohio, like in the Columbus, Coshocton area. That's kind of like where you're from.
Yeah. Yep.
Born and raised?
As far as whitetails, yeah.
Born and raised in that area?
Yep.
Yeah, right on. Well, I don't know if you want to jump right into the story of this one or not. So that was what, that's kind of the first time that we noticed you or saw you as you're like, man, you shot this giant 213 inches.
Yep.
Which is a monstrosity of an animal. So
early, too. Was it opening day?
Opening night, yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing the picture. I'm like, damn.
I think that's why it's got so much attention, because it was like the first
big one that hit the ground
in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it seemed like. But yeah, it's.
Well, why don't you pull them out here? Let's start with that, and let's check them out, and then we can hear the story.
So born and raised in Coshocton. Is Ben in Coshocton as well?
Yeah.
Hang on, not in Coshocton County, but
outside
in that vicinity.
Yeah, gotcha.
And we've had plenty of conversations with Ben over the years. And his mindset is like there's still big deer, but like the number of giants that he sees in that area has significantly decreed.
Yeah.
Over the last 10 years at least.
It's a super popular area. There's a pretty popular piece of public in that area that a lot of non-residents go to, so it gets hit pretty hard.
I think it's still one of the top 3 or 4 counties for like total deer harvest in the state as well.
I would believe that. There's too many deer where we're at,
really,
in my opinion. But
have you guys had any EHD issues there?
We did not.
Like even in the last couple of years?
No. Well, so I've heard of some people say that they found some EHD deer, but I don't think they ever actually got them tested.
Sure. So maybe a couple, but nothing.
There was some cases of EHD in Coshocton County, but not like Southern Ohio was. I was worried though.
Yeah, I would be too.
What was the date or right around when you shot this thing?
28th, right?
27th.
27th
was opening day.
Oh, of September. I was going to say that, man, he's like fresh out of velvet. In fact, he's still got some down here.
Some dried up velvet on him.
It's funny how porous they are when they're fresh out of velvet before they can pick up dirt and whatever else they're getting into the grains of their antler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super cool, man.
So you've had history with this
left
deer,
side.
right?
Oh yeah.
How long have you known him? Or at
Um,
least recognizable, I guess. Like, it's hard
so-
to say one or two necessarily.
22 would have been the
22.
first year.
We have some sheds
He was
for
in
those, right? We're going to pull those up.
So I actually have a shed from 21 that I didn't realize that I had until this past summer.
Okay.
I actually had it in my pack. I was using it
pull
for
them all up here
a
if you want.
rattling antler.
No way.
And I pulled it out of my pack. I was like, a split brow on like a 2-year-old, and I held it up. I was like, that's got to be the same deer. So 21, I guess, technically would be the first year I had history with him. But
So 21, and you killed him in 25.
Yep.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
yeah,
And so you think he was 2-year-old in 2021?
yes,
And a
That's this
6-year-old
one?
when you shot him?
yeah,
That's this guy?
yep, that's that guy. So like
Yeah.
a split brow, the way the beam kind of is shaped.
Yeah, I mean, the beam is kind of,
Yeah, I mean from this angle it looks identical.
it does.
From the same property, I assume.
Yeah,
Yep. I mean, I would. I mean,
Could be.
sure, anybody could
where's-
argue, you know, but it's like
Where's the 3-year-old shed? This one?
split brow.
This one.
That's that one. So he didn't really do a ton from
No.
2 to 3 even.
nope.
Okay. I see that.
Boy, that makes you wonder, right? Like
Boy.
when you look at this from 2 to 3, and you're like, he's nothing
Yeah, I know.
special as a
Yeah.
3-year-old.
Yeah.
Let me ask you first, and not that we're going to challenge it, how confident are you that these are all 100% his sheds?
Other than the 2-year-old shed,
Pretty confident.
very confident.
Very confident.
Like,
Because some are obvious. That one is obvious.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
he's got that notable, that
Yeah,
4.
so actually, when he was a 3-year-old, like this shed, I have a video of him on November 20th, 2022, walking under my tree stand. I took like a phone video of him,
Mm-hmm.
and I showed it to my brother, and he's like, "Dude, you're crazy for
Passing that
thing."
deer.
And because I think if I remember right,
The
this is
same brother that just shot 2 does and a 2 deer counting. Okay, yeah.
He's
yeah,
there.
yeah, we get it.
he but
Got it.
yeah, he's like, dude, you're crazy for passing that. It's like, it's a 3-year-old, and I had pictures of bigger bucks at the time,
Mhm.
so I wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't
that's
even
a-
really- it's a respectable 3-year-old.
Yeah, it's a 3. Yeah, this would be like in your area. I'd say this is pretty average for a 3-year-old, if not even on the smaller side.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
But average.
125-inch
Yeah.
3-year-olds.
Yeah.
He has a little bit probably longer beam than normal.
He
and
definitely
he's got
does.
the split brows started already.
That beam is the piece that'll add up on them.
Yes, absolutely.
So which
Yep.
one's next?
That one.
So you think this is him at 4?
Yes.
Okay.
So I missed him when he was at 4,
Okay, go ahead. You guys hold that.
and actually,
Which, yeah, I mean, still, lacking mass, but really is added time length.
yeah.
Keeping that split brow through, which does make it feel like you linked up to these ones,
Yeah. And so
starting this little kicker off here.
Interesting.
that year we were still pretty borderline on whether we would shoot him or not, because we had 2 10-pointers that looked similar, and we called the other one the clean 10 because he was just a clean 10-pointer. So we called him the trash 10 because
That's
he's
an awesome
got just
3.
a little bit of trash. And so
What do you think? Mid to high 50s there?
I think so. This is his small side, so I can't remember the exact measurements, but we were thinking like lower mid 160s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like with that beam length.
Yeah, I
it's
mean, that's
deceiving.
probably
Yeah,
the deceiving
super long
thing.
beams,
He just
for sure.
doesn't have mass.
Right.
Is that, sorry, private land, public land?
Private.
Private. And so are you pretty good inventory? You're like, hey, if there was other deer that looked like him, like we would
Yeah.
probably know.
I pretty much save any pictures that look like a respectable 3-year-old.
How big of a
Yeah.
property? Ballpark.
Over 150.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Yep,
cool.
Makes sense. Just to frame it up for everybody.
Yeah.
listening.
And like,
But
all
lots of
of
ag.
these, all these were like in the same part of the farm. Like,
well, so
Well, this is the only one that's like super weird. I'm waiting to hear the story on this one.
like is at this point, if we go 2, 3, 4, like is this a homebody deer? Like is he there? Like do you see him in the summer?
summertime, yeah. I mean, it depends.
Okay.
Depends on the crops,
Yep.
but
So beans he's there, corn he's not, or vice versa.
yeah. I mean, it's harder. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like a lot of times, summer, I don't hang that many trail cameras summertimes, but
Mhm.
if we have a bean field, I will glass quite a bit.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so when it's corn, can't
Yeah,
glass.
can't see it. Yep.
So yeah,
But he's there early season. Does he shift at all?
yeah. So very early season, he's there, and then like end of October through the rut,
Yep.
pretty much disappears
Really?
every year.
Which I mean, that's his most vulnerable time period.
Yeah. And so, this year I was like, dude, I got to get it done early season because
Did you have an idea of where he was going?
Not really. I guess sort of, but like not like
just thinking
concrete.
Like it's a substantial deer, so
Right.
to slip through the cracks during that vulnerable time period.
I can't believe we didn't find any wounds on him, or which it's hard to tell, from 1 year to the next, to see a wound. But so, yeah. But then like late November into December, late season, he'd come back. And
okay. So basically, gone October, November, comes back end of November.
But when I say that we're seeing him, he does not bet on our farm. Like our farm doesn't have very good buck bedding.
Got it.
So
he's just feeding on it.
Yeah, we have food.
You got food.
For some reason, like the bedding areas, the way they're positioned on the neighbors, somehow I guess, like our property, they end up there for food usually.
Well, that makes sense from an early and late season pattern, right?
Yeah.
Early season food, late season food. That's what's on his mind. Middle of the season, you need bedding and cover.
Right.
Yep. Which is also scary.
Yeah.
Looking at, he's gone.
Terrifying.
He's gone during that November time frame.
Well, he's not betting on you to begin with. That's
Right.
terrifying.
And I assume like your neighbors hunt?
Oh yeah. Yeah, everybody hunts down there.
What kind of food? Are you guys leaving grain? Are you doing food plots? A lot of oaks or?
No. Well, so there's oak trees. We're not doing food plots. We were not baiting at this time. Sometimes like gun season, late season, we would put out bait.
Yep.
But not this year. So a lot of oaks were dropping. Our whole farm was standing corn. Most people's farms in that area were standing corn. There was one bean field in the neighborhood, but we did get permission to go watch that bean field this summer, and we didn't see anything over a 120-inch 8-pointer. So
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's always the puzzle pieces to me are always kind of the cool thing. I mean, obviously it worked out.
Yeah.
But like thinking back along the way, it's like, okay, I know he's here early season, late season. That makes sense because of you having the food.
Yeah.
Where does he go and how in the hell is he slipping through?
I had some neighbors contact me I think I've had 6 different neighbors contact me since I've shot him, and some of them are a mile away saying like, we've got pictures of this thing.
It wouldn't surprise me, dude. These freaking things move.
Oh yeah.
They
100%.
They move, they cover ground, and it's, I think a lot of the times when even the 4 of us, if we lose a buck and we're like, well, I guess he's dead, that deer just could be a mile and a half away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, easily.
And if it's not something like this, like the stories never connect the dots, right? Because there's nothing noticeable about it and stuff.
If it's even a 70s deer, you probably don't hear, if he gets shot or doesn't, or you don't put that piece together.
The area that you're in, is it like a lot of agriculture, or is it big connecting timber blocks?
Oh, it's a lot of ag. There is a decent amount of timber too, but there's a lot of ag.
Mostly ag.
So smaller blocks of timber, kind of.
Yeah.
And I mean that's they obviously not the same, but they did a thing the other day in eastern Nebraska. So ag country, eastern Nebraska, they were tracking this deer. It's probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 year old 150-inch deer. And that deer in a matter of 2 weeks repositioned 4.5 miles. And the only reason they knew is because they had property in that same area and got them on camera again. And it's like these things they do weird things, for whatever reason, and whether it's pressure or food oriented or, especially as these bucks change in age class, it's like, there's other bucks that move in that are more aggressive, and some of these bucks are fighters and some of them aren't. And they're just like, hey, I don't want anything to do with this. And they just find a new place.
Yep.
But he was clearly going somewhere that either wasn't getting hunted correctly. I wouldn't say at all, because everybody hunts.
Right.
And he found like a safety zone type thing. Like he found a nook and cranny that he dug a hole in, because obviously in October and November he's mobile.
Right.
Like
he's moving.
He's moving around. He's visible, but he's getting through every year.
Yeah. I was very surprised he made it all the way through. I mean, me myself missed him twice. So I can't imagine how many other times he almost died.
Yeah.
And
so which years did you miss him on? As a 4-year-old, he said?
Yeah. So as a 4-year-old, we were kind of on the fence about whether he was a shooter or not.
I mean, what's normal, like in your past before this? Like, what do you usually kill?
Yeah,
4-year-old. Okay,
he's killing good deer.
Yeah. So I'm usually like just going by from year to year. It kind of changes. I try to target the biggest buck that we have pictures of.
Age related or just score related or both?
Both.
Yep.
On that farm for the most part. That's a main.
Yeah.
But I mean,
which usually amounts to like 150 plus.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're killing a slammer every year, or trying to kill a slammer every year.
Trying to, yeah.
Well, age class. I mean, are you guys trying to say, hey, let's shoot for a certain age class, or?
I mean, it depends on the buck a little bit. I mean, if it's a 160-inch 4-year-old,
then he's you'd consider shooting him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for sure shooting.
For sure shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's probably not going to survive.
Yeah.
Historically, have you had other deer making it through like this, or most of them?
So 3 years ago. So yeah, I missed him last year, missed him the year before. Then the year before that, I shot a 7.5-year-old mainframe 10 that scored 175, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's a giant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it just varies so much from year to year. But
it does seem like you can get age in that area.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely in like neighboring properties, like, you know, within a 1 mile radius, I would say some pretty good bucks have been shot.
Cool.
But it just varies so much from year to year.
Sure.
It's interesting how I think the topography has a big impact on that, because like where we're at, we have a much bigger farm, so pushing 1,000 acres.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if our neighbors are just really good hunters. I don't think that's the case necessarily. Or that just for some reason they just don't live.
Yeah.
They just don't. You know what I mean? It's
Oh, what's the terrain out where you're at?
It's rolling.
It's more, I'm going to say more topography than where you're at, but smaller woodlots.
Very
also.
blocky.
Not big ag necessarily in that sense, but plenty of open ground,
big
pasture.
Yeah.
There is definitely ag. We're kind of on the transition between big timber, which we're not really in, and big open ag.
There is some big timber in the area for sure, but I'd say our terrain is more like choppy, like up and down, like big ag, like wood,
I think that makes it harder
to
like
lines.
For people who aren't really living it all the time. I think it makes it harder to hunt, which probably allows these deer to slide through the cracks a little bit easier.
Yeah, I would say
right,
so.
because if they just dive into some of those areas, they're just blowing them out, right? And these deer eventually educate themselves to like, hey, if I sit here, he's either going to blow me out or he's never coming to get me in this.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Because something is just from this and the history that you have, like something is working in that area that it's like people are hunting. It's not a huge piece of property, but we're getting bucks to maturity, which is awesome.
Everybody should be happy with that.
Yeah, and I can't really put all the puzzle pieces together, I guess, because I didn't have permission on those like bedding areas.
You only know what you know.
Right. So, but yeah, I did miss him as a 4-year-old.
Was that like normal bow season?
It was late season, so I just looked. So I went back and like figured out all the dates. I went back and looked. So it was January 15th.
Oh wow!
So
what happened?
We had a fresh picked cornfield and a fresh layer of snow like that morning. And I was like, dude, this is perfect. And I had one tree stand that I hung just for him. And so I go in there, and all the deer are more congregated, probably like 200 yards away from me. Like they're just piling out into this fresh picked cornfield.
Coming off the neighbors out of their bedding area?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so what happened was, I guess there was so much corn on the ground, the blackbirds were like swarming.
Oh, yeah.
And a whole swarm came down and landed in the field, and it spooked the deer. They all ran up underneath my tree stand. So now I have like a whole herd of deer underneath my tree. And I'm just like,
can't move.
I can't move. And like it's late season, there's no leaves on the trees. I have almost no cover.
Many eyeballs.
And so at this point, I was still borderline whether I would shoot him or not. He comes into like 25 yards. And I know that there's does behind me that I
For the record, I'm shooting this deer at 4 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think, he would have been about mid-160s there.
Yeah,
we never found the other shed, but
that beam is deceivingly long.
It is. It is.
So is that G3.
He's used that line, but he's used that before.
Yeah.
It's longer than anything.
She married me.
Trust me.
Oh, man. But so he comes into 25 yards, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm on the fence about shooting this thing, but now that I see him, shooter.
Yeah.
And if he gives me a good shot, I'm going to try to draw back here. And so 25 yards broadside, but he's looking my direction, so I'm like, can't draw. And so he puts his front leg forward and looks away from me to lick his ass. And I'm like, oh, dude, you're literally asking for it.
There it is.
And I get drawn about 8 inches, and a doe blows by. Yeah, the whole field clears out. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Bitch. She's looking right at you.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm sure she was, like, behind me just looking
watching
at me. Just waiting for me to move.
Yeah, as soon as she spooked over there from those blackbirds, she was probably on high alert the whole time.
And so I'm like, okay, well, this evening hunt is shot.
Mm-hmm.
But
he didn't know what happened though. Probably.
No, he didn't. And so that was pretty early in the evening. So eventually he actually comes back out into the field. I'm like, okay, he's for sure not coming back over here. But no, he does. And for some reason, he has a problem with this one little buck. He keeps like going up behind him and poking him in the butt with his antlers. He just like the whole length of the field he's doing this.
Just moving him out of the way.
What did this guy do to you?
Yeah.
But so at this point, it's getting down to last light. And so the little buck's coming in. He's been following this thing the whole time so far. So I range this little buck at 40, and he pops up over this little knoll in the field, and he follows the little buck into like 30. But then he does a U-turn for whatever reason, and I think there's a spot in the field where I think that he's still standing. Like when I range that little buck, he's standing in that same spot in my mind. And so draw back, shoot, clean miss, shot under him. It turns out he was probably like, so I thought he was 40. He was probably more like 44. And so I was shooting kind of a heavy arrow, so a little bit of a rainbow to get out there. So I was like, well, at least it was a clean miss. And so
season ends basically. You have more season, but he probably shut out not too long after.
So he ran off. It was over at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I wasn't 100% sure that I missed him or not, but with the snow being on the ground,
that's the best way to look.
Yeah, I could
clean.
tell there was no blood. So, yeah, then fast forward to him as a 5-year-old, which is that drop tine shed and that other big one.
Oh, this is a match set.
Oh yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. Which he
I see.
He deleted his drop tine this year, but
that beam is insanely long.
Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting. Because I almost thought, I was like, am I missing one here? I didn't realize this was a match set.
Yep. So
like that left side doesn't look like anything like the rest of them.
I know.
Yeah.
But he must have.
But you saw these together on his head, so it's definitely him. Because that's definitely him.
Multiple times, yeah. So,
wow.
So his right brow tine, he broke. Usually they're split. He broke that off. So,
where? When? What do you mean?
On his right side there, right where your finger's at. He broke.
Oh, there's one missing here.
Yeah.
I see.
So if you would include that in his G5, I believe on his right side, he broke like an inch off. Probably. Yep. He'd be like sitting right at 190.
I was gonna say
depending what his spread is.
Yeah.
Really.
So he probably put on about 25 inches.
Just beams and tine length.
Yeah.
Although he has really good mass on his right side too.
Yeah.
But beams and tine length.
I still wonder what caused that left side to.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there was no visible wounds or anything. I don't know what happened.
I mean that.
How much heavier that antler is than the other one.
And like his weak G2 here.
Yep.
This year it's on the other side. But it's still like 9 inches. So.
Yeah, I mean the way this curves, they may not be able to see it on here, but the way this curves almost makes me feel like he damaged it in velvet. Like something happened, like when he was like at that stage, basically, that caused that, and then all of a sudden this kind of like curvature, like twisting here, was what threw that drop tine.
It could be.
So who knows? He could have banged it. I've seen like some of the bucks that develop like super early on that kind of stuff. Like if they get any kind of cuts, the bugs will infect it and things like that. That's where you usually get like some of the holes and things in the antlers there. But like he for sure did something there that was not normal.
HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Deer Grow.
Man, hard to believe, but Deer Grow has been the sponsor that's been there since the beginning of the HUNTR Podcast. Back in 2021, I think that they were the only partner that we had, but it's such a cornerstone brand and set of products for our food plot strategy throughout the year.
No doubt. And it seems like we used to have an off season, but not so much anymore. It's like when the hunting season ends, it really rolls right into food plot season, habitat projects, all of the above. And the Plot Start and Plot Boost have been there since the very beginning. That's a cornerstone for all of our plots. The Plot Start goes on at the beginning, Plot Boost goes on midway through. And since they came out with all of the fertilizers, that gets mixed in with the Plot Boost application as well. And I can't believe the results that we've been getting out of that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like I said, it's all the work now that really produces the results in the fall. So right now, anyone listening to HUNTR Podcast can use code HUNTR, HUNTR, for 15% off any of the products at deergrow.com.
Better food plots, bigger deer. So you guys were obviously hunting them this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
saw them early in the season?
The summer of this year, so I didn't really have trail cameras out, but I went down to Glass. We had beans that year. And so I go down there, and he's on my mind. Like that's who I'm going down there to try to see, like see what he turned into.
Yep.
And it's probably early July some point when we're down there. So like obviously they're not full form yet, but dude, I seen him.
You're
I was
like, yep,
that's him. Like an absolute monster already. And so, yeah, I think I had 5 different encounters with him last year. The first one was like in December. He caught me.
So nothing
December.
early season.
No, nothing early season.
Was he on the farm early?
I can't remember for sure, but I think like not daylighting, but like
Just get a night
area.
picture every once in a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I do remember I think there was one morning where he was hitting a scrape, like right at daybreak.
Yeah.
And then eventually he takes that leap in October.
That was like October 3rd, if I remember right.
And then he's kind of
he's just kind of disappeared.
gone.
Yeah. And so, at December or some point, I think he actually had him at 30 yards, and he caught me drawing, and he just like looks.
I see you, bitch.
Then, yeah. Like something's not right. Turns around and leaves.
You're going to do this again?
Oh my gosh.
You're going to try me again, huh? 43, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And so there was another time during the rut, I heard 2 bucks fighting like before daylight. And then it got daylight. And just at daybreak, I could see a rack. I couldn't get my binos on him in time, but I'm pretty sure it was him. So that was probably like 150 yards away. And then last year during gun season, I seen him. He was like 50 yards over the line. I was like, obviously not taking that shot.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So if you saw, I mean, again, we're assuming, but if you saw him in the rut, so his shift probably wasn't that far out of the range.
So. But it could be that was his loop that he made that day or whatever.
For sure.
But
and you're pretty confident that he was leaving, not just that he was like kind of under the radar with those and stuff.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident.
Because you're seeing other bucks on your camera.
Well,
right.
Dude, that's why I ask. Because I got to tell you, this year I have seen more deer in person that I'm not getting pictures of than ever.
Me and Kevin were talking about that on the way here. Like the cameras just don't tell the whole story.
No.
Have you guys seen that? There's a newer YouTube channel. What did you say it was called?
Whitetail Research. You guys had him on. Didn't
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
That's
Derek.
why I listened to him. Yeah.
Yeah, Derek.
He had said something. I don't remember. Was it on your podcast or someone else's? Like, if you get a picture of a buck, like, there's like a window of time where even if you're not getting pictures of him, if you got a picture at some point, he's probably still in the area.
For sure. Yeah.
I 100% believe that.
It's our addictive nature and how we get those pictures that for most of us, and it's a bad thing, is we chase the picture. It's like, okay, well, I got one from him 2 days ago, but it was at night and he was hitting a scrape. But like, I'll wait, it's like that deer's there. He's around that area. Like maybe he's not going to daylight or do the thing today just by chance because of the weather or whatever. But it's like you're waiting to get the perfect picture. Meanwhile, like that's when you need to be in the sand on them.
Right.
Well, and think about a camera's view.
Yeah.
If you could only see what a camera sees, you very rarely see deer.
Well, dude, I've walked by cameras and I haven't. Then I check my phone. I'm like, I didn't get a picture.
Yep. Yeah.
100%.
That and this thing I feel like was camera shy. Like
I think a lot of those deer are.
You could tell sometimes like, oh, there's a camera there, and then like,
there's the cellular camera frequency thing is absolutely something that deer can detect, whether they've been around them their whole lives or not. Like when that thing puts off that picture up, there is a frequency happening that they don't like.
That's kind of crazy, but yeah. So then I had another encounter with him last January, where he was actually dogging a doe in January. So
well, I mean, if you got a high deer population, that doesn't surprise me.
100%. But so a doe was coming out of this bedding area, and I see him cut her off at like 150 yards, like at like 3 in the afternoon. And so I was like, pretty hopeful that they would come out into this into this field before dark, but they never showed. So and then I missed him late season last year. Came in to I literally did the same thing as I did the year. I arranged a different deer while he was coming in. I think that he's standing in the same spot,
Same tree stand, same spot?
No.
Okay.
Different. Like,
dude, those
away.
fields are deceiving. When you range something like that and you're like, oh, he's standing in the same one. 10, 15 yards just doesn't look like much from the tree stand, especially if light is fading and that stuff.
I think this one was worse though, because
got some new Bushnell rangefinders out there. We'll hook you up.
I just need to use
use it.
That's fair.
But so as soon as I pulled the trigger on my release, like just the angle that my bow was at, I was like, missed him. Shot over top. He was at 20 yards. I was using my 30-yard pin.
Oh no.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
Oh.
And
I
like,
did that.
Me too.
Immediately I knew. I just like
at 20 yards.
I just like put my head down on the ground and was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, I mean, it's just that especially at the end of the season, like, dude, you're mentally worn out.
Yeah, I was so worn out. At that point. Like, I didn't hunt anymore after that. It's just not gonna. I don't have the energy for it.
When were you finding sheds? Like, did it seem like he was dropping in like January or February, or were you finding him like in March?
So I think his 4-year-old side we found a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin John actually found that for me. He seen the thing at like 75 yards in a cut cornfield. I don't know how he seen that.
Damn.
Yeah, but I took him along to like help me look for this thing.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember what time of year that was for sure, but I know last year he shed his one side before season was over.
Yep.
And the other side he kept for like another 2 weeks probably.
Wow.
So
yeah.
Which is about right. Generally, I'm seeing like February 1st as like a medium point.
Yep.
Some before, some after.
Well, and just knowing that they're breeding late because you've got does that are missed or fawns coming in, like they're going to hold longer.
Dude, that's real. I mean, especially in the high doe density areas, we see deer rutting clear into January, which is kind of a problem. I mean,
yeah, it's stressful on them, man.
We're kind of rut hunting all the way through December. I mean, the focus gets back on food because they have to survive too. But those big ones are following does. Dude, last year in Illinois, the first and only time we saw it, there was a monster 8-point. He's like 170-inch 8-point. He didn't show up until
February 4th.
It was February for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. February 4th.
At noon. We have one picture of him standing in a cut cornfield, and then that was it.
Followed a fawn over that we assume was in heat at that point. You know what I mean? That was the only thing that brought him out. So he was still doing the thing.
I've had good luck like late season with scents.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've had decent luck with that. So
do you run a lot of scents throughout the season?
No, not a lot. Like if I
You Black Widow guy.
No. I like Smokies.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. We're Smokies pre-orbital guy.
Do they have other? They have other like rut scents and stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got a whole line.
They got pretty much everything.
Okay.
I don't have anything against Black Widow, but I like it being in a glass bottle.
Sure.
Like I just feel like the plastic. I don't know can they smell it or not, but
we like the Smokies every year.
That's our mock scrape.
3 to 5 of them and just get you through a season. You know,
yeah.
I've never used. I'm not a big scents guy though, just in general because I don't know. I'm not confident enough to feel like, and also I hate leaving stuff. I hate it smelling like that after I leave because then I'm like, are they confused by that? They're like, you know.
The way I've had luck with it is like if I'm getting one on camera that's like kind of borderline whether he's gonna like daylight or not, I'll put some scent out. And there's been a couple instances where obviously I can't prove that that's what brought him in daylight, but I've had it work a couple times.
And what are you putting out when you do that?
Like a doe and rut or doe and heat type thing?
Some doe and heat, but then I'll also do, I think, doe interdigital gland. So, like, it smells like they're actually walking
through there.
And you put it in a scrape?
I usually, the way I've used it before is, like, in between 2 scrapes, I'll put some in the scrape, and I'll go, like, the whole distance into the next scrape. So, there's been a couple times where they've gone through that area, like, in the dark, in the morning on their way back to bed, and then that evening they're there daylight. So
interesting.
I've had luck with it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I can't prove anything.
No, I mean, it makes sense.
Well, you don't have to prove it. I mean, guys have seen bucks do wild stuff over that doesn't heat for years. They definitely will do it. For me, it's always been a battle of like, well, they're gonna smell me too. Like if I have to go walk back and forth between these scrapes,
I feel like you definitely have to like. You can't be leaving a lot of scent out there for sure.
Yeah. Or even even at a young age, I never could get the concept of like, I'm like, if they can smell this doe and estrus, they can also smell me. Like, that means my wind has to be blowing at someone. So I'm like, in what situation can I make this work? And I never could figure it out.
Yeah, it's definitely very situation dependent. Like,
well, guys kill them off them all the time.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not just like throwing scent out there randomly and having it
Mm-hmm.
work for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So that was at 5.
Yep.
That's when you missed him again at 20 yards. He shot for 30.
Yep.
And then season was over. You guys found those sheds. All right. So bring us up to this year.
Okay. So this year, so obviously we had a bunch of history with him. So I went in and hung a couple stands, put a couple cameras out, but for the most part, tried to like stay out of where he would frequent on our farm. And so I didn't have like a lot of pictures of him, but like I got one picture of him in velvet where I'm like, okay, obviously,
Giant.
obviously shooter, obviously that buck.
Felt like you had him pretty figured too. Like you're like, okay, I've seen him now for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Doing a certain thing.
Did you have corn or beans on your place this year?
Corn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all still standing too.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of red oaks. A lot of red oaks were dropping.
Early this year too.
Yeah. And so I had hung one stand actually real close to where I missed him last year. Thinking it would be more of like a late rut spot maybe.
Yeah.
I could maybe catch it. It's kind of in a travel corridor. And so I was thinking when I hung that thing, that's what I was, thinking it would be for. So we did have one camera on the edge of the corn, and he came fast forward to opening morning, before daylight. We get a picture of him on this camera before daylight, like 20 minutes before daylight, and he's going onto our farm. And so me and Dad were talking about it. So me and my dad hunt this farm.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Dad were talking about it, and we're like, that might be the first time we've ever gotten a picture of him coming onto our farm.
Because he's going to bed down.
In the morning during deer season at least.
Yeah.
Like a couple times, like even this summer, we've gotten pictures of him coming on us, but we're like, he's going to go back to his normal bedding area. Where we got a picture of him, eventually he could have made it back over to the neighbors, obviously. You never know. But we're like, this is probably the first time we've ever had a picture of him coming onto our farm in the morning. And like, if he is better on us, this is where he's going to be. And it's like a draw, like a creek, little small creek going up into the interior of a cornfield. And it's got like 75 yards of timber following it up in there. And so right on that inside corner is where I had a tree stand. And it's actually in a red oak, which was dropping. And so I was like, well, if he's in there, I think I can sneak in there and get in the tree. And I actually looked on the way here. I was inside of 150 yards of where he was bedded. I'm fairly certain. So last Saturday I went back to the farm, and I followed the path that he came in on and went back up in there. And there was some pretty good sign in there. Some good buck beds. And so if that's where he was bedded, which I'm 90% sure.
Which you kind of have to be early in the season. You got to be right on top of them.
Yeah.
Was your camera right on that draw, like close to the tree stand?
No, it was like further, probably like 150 yards further west.
I see.
Would be. Yeah.
On
the other field corner.
Okay. Decent size draw, like?
No, very small.
I mean, if you're talking about 75 yards, like coming up through, like just
just
literally like a finger up into there.
Yeah.
To the cornfield.
And have you hunted it that way in the past? You're like, oh, bucks will bed up there and it'll come out this draw?
No, that's the thing. Like I've known that bucks bed in there, or not bucks, deer bed in there, but we've never like had a big buck bed in that part of the farm before. So I was like 80% sure that he probably went back over to the neighbors.
Yeah, based on his history.
We've been hunting this farm for 6-7 years, I think, and we've never had a big buck bed in that part that we know about.
So that picture alone was enough information for you guys to think, well, he may have bedded in this. Like there's not a whole lot of other places he could have gone.
Right. Yeah.
Or he went back to the neighbors, which didn't matter at that point.
Right. And
interesting.
So I was going to throw.
So you would know then, like in years past, like if bucks were doing that, you would have caught on to that pattern.
Probably.
You think so?
I think so.
I think the thing with this one too was like, you got a little bit of time here early before he's gone.
Yeah.
Let's wait until late season.
I mean, you're literally like a week.
So if you get anything to go off of, you're going in.
Hail Mary almost.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nothing could have kept me out of the woods, I don't think, after getting that picture. Like I was planning on going and hunting that area anyways. I didn't have a specific spot in mind yet. But when we got that picture, I was like,
I mean, that's as good as information you're ever going to get. It's like
I'm going in there
right before daylight. He's going into the farm. Odds are he's going to remain in that area. He's not going to stay on his feet that much longer in the morning. So if I'm there, that's my best chance to catch him, period.
Yeah. Yep. And so, also it was a red moon that night. I don't know if you guys are red moon guys or not.
No. So what does that mean?
So have you guys heard of it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I want to hear you say it. Though.
I don't. I actually don't.
if you're gonna preach it, I want to hear your explanation of it.
It has something to do with like the rise and the setting of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an expert. I
think is it within a half hour or an hour of daybreak and sundown?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's when the moon is overhead or underfoot. Within a half an hour of either dawn or dusk.
Okay.
Yep.
Is what they call a red moon.
I just bought the moon guide. So
there you go.
So is that all you're doing? Is you're looking at the guide and it says today is a red moon?
Right.
Or does it give you a time frame or something?
It gives you like a time and like a place, like transition area or field edge or whatever.
Gotcha.
And
do you feel like you followed that? Like you're like,
no. So I would say, like, I don't care if it's a red moon or not, but if I look and I see it's going to be a red moon, that gives me a little bit more confidence.
Cool.
This is actually, I've went back and looked at my other bucks. This is the 4th buck I've killed on a red moon.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it a coincidence? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
well, dude, there's a lot of guys that believe in it, who have 100%. Indisputable
Ben Rising
walls.
Yeah. Well, like Adam Hayes.
Yeah, Adam Hayes.
Red moon. Dude,
he does.
I don't know that anybody has a better wall than that guy.
Yeah.
But
there's also guys that have killed a lot of deer not on red moons. Exactly. So what's tough to tease apart is the observation bias that anybody is going to have. You know, if you start to believe a certain thing, even like I was saying, this dark side of the moon, I'm like, I don't know, that's kind of what I've seen. Like, but I'm one guy and it's one instance and there's other things happening. Right. So it's hard to tease apart.
Yeah. Like I said, like,
so we're not putting it, we're not putting it down.
I'm not only going hunting when it's a red moon, but if I see it's a red moon, I'm like, okay, puts a little bit extra confidence.
I do the same thing. And I'm honestly, I kind of feel like for me, it's more like whatever gives me more confidence.
Sure.
Because if I go into a spot with like super high confidence, I feel like I'm on my A game.
Absolutely.
Everything goes better. And that's honestly a lot of times why I look at that stuff. Is like, okay, I killed that buck on a red moon. I'm going to watch that. And if it's a red moon, it's not like, doesn't mean I'm going to hunt or not hunt accordingly. But if it is a red moon on the night that I'm going hunting,
confidence kills big bucks for sure.
Yeah. And like all the other weather was not in my favor that night. Like it was 80 degrees, like no wind.
And this was a pre-hung stand.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're like, I just need to get in there and slip up in, and I'm in.
Which I did not get in clean. I was telling Kevin on the way here, I bumped 4 deer, I think, getting into the stand. Yeah. Me and Dad kind of had an argument beforehand of like which way I should go.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to come in from the bottom. I'm like, nah, I'm going to go in from the top. Like I've gone through there before and not bumped anything.
And then you bump 4.
As soon as I get inside the woods, just there goes a deer. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then I get about
would it have made a difference if you came in from the bottom?
I don't know, because I almost felt like they could see me because they're bedded up in there. I feel like if I come up from the bottom,
they're sitting up high looking down.
See me, but you know, who knows? So then I get like halfway to the tree and I hear something and I look over. There's 3 tails like bobbing away from me, like up into this draw. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Right to where you think he's bedded.
Yeah. And 2 of them are little bucks, and the other one I couldn't really tell for sure, but I didn't see rack, so I figured it was a doe.
Doe or a little buck.
So I get up in the tree stand, and 45 minutes later, those same 2 little bucks come underneath my tree.
Like, and you know now, you're like, oh, this is red oaks dropping.
Oh yeah, just raining red oaks. And like the squirrels are just going crazy. Like you know how that is when you're sitting in a tree. And
that's what those bucks are coming in for? They're coming to feed under that tree?
Well, they did for a little bit, and then they kept moving.
Up towards the cornfield?
No. They were headed on to the neighbors for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
But so, you know how it is when you hear a deer and you turn and look, and it's a squirrel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that happened to me about 100 times.
Every day.
I kinda,
you were pretty on edge then, like this deer might be up in this thing.
I was.
I feel like you had to be. Like, dude, you had a picture of him right before daybreak going into the property. It's like, you got to feel like, if anything, like this is the chance before it disappears.
I was like 80% sure, though, he went back to the neighbors.
Sure.
Because that's what he
does.
Done.
Did you and your dad also have a discussion about who was going to go sit it?
Not really, because he's kind of turned into a fair weather hunter. I told Kevin on the way here, he didn't even go out like hunting at all. He just sat in the truck that night. So shame on you. But
was that because he's like, well, there's one buck to hunt and you're in a spot?
No, there's other bucks around that he would shoot.
Okay.
But
he was just like, it's too hot. I'm just gonna hang out in the truck.
Yeah.
I asked because my dad and I had that conversation when I tell that story later.
He's kind of a box blind hunter. So
okay.
Gotcha.
If it's not like perfect conditions, box blind, like just not interested.
Okay.
But so yeah. Where was I?
So those two little bucks kind of come in, feed under your tree, and then they kind of work off.
Okay, yeah, the squirrels. Yep. The squirrels were like, I turned around and like, so I was faced kind of away from where I thought the buck would come from.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, every 5 minutes I'd hear one.
Over your shoulder.
And it's a squirrel.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of let my guard down a little bit. At one point, I was looking up in the draw, and I thought I seen something. And I stared at that spot for like 10 minutes.
And you're thinking he's going to come from behind you, but you're looking up the draw.
Well, so I'm thinking he's going to come from behind me, but I'm
turned around.
I'm turned around looking up the draw at
Gotcha.
this point.
Okay.
And so I think I see something up in there, like where I think he would come from.
Mm-hmm.
And I stared at that spot for like 10 minutes and couldn't like even see any other movement. So I was like, okay, well, I guess it was nothing. And about 10 minutes later, probably, I mean, I had turned and looked at that spot some more in between this time period, but about 10 minutes later, I turn and look, and he's at 30 yards. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Whoa.
And I am standing already, so that's good, but I don't have my bow in my hand, and he's at 30 yards. And like when I first see him, his rack is actually the way it's laying on the table. He's like going up to a licking branch.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see that flyer out the side and his two beams, and I'm like, all right, we're not looking at the antlers anymore. Trying to cut down on the buck fever a little bit. And so he makes his scrape, and while he's got his head up, grab the bow, draw back. And I did have a frontal opportunity, but I was like, I mean, I've got a huge shooting lane right here that he's going to probably walk to. So we're just...
So just answering, you rip the bow back.
Yeah. Yep. Because...
30 yards, quarter to you with the head.
when he caught me drawing last year, that must have scarred me.
It scarred you.
As soon as I have an opportunity, I'm drawing back.
You're drawing back.
And so I was probably at full draw for about a minute.
That's a long time.
It is.
You're like regretting this decision after a minute.
And so he finally is done making a scrape, and he starts walking. So I'm like facing the tree. He's walking from left to right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have my bow on the left side of the tree, and I've got like a pretty good sized shooting lane, like probably 5 yards wide. But if he gets through there, you got to
go on the other side.
I'm gonna have to let down, get on the other side of the tree, and draw back again. So
how's your wind and stuff? Feeling
pretty good.
Good about it.
Yeah. Once that one little buck walked right under my stand, like right past my ladder. Like once he got through there, I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, you're all right.
Pretty foolproof so far, at least. And so he gets into that shooting lane, and I grunt. And he looks, but he keeps walking, and he takes like one extra step before he stops.
Yeah,
you got to be kidding me. So now
are you filming? I'm sorry to interrupt. No, okay.
No. I tried to film in the past, and I was just like, once the deer comes out,
let me just shoot one at 20 yards.
Yeah.
Get that down.
The camera just goes completely out of the equation once I actually see a buck. Like I couldn't care less about the camera.
Okay, got it.
So
he takes an extra step.
He takes an extra step. He's got a tree covering like from his front shoulder. I can't even see his head, and he's got another tree covering like his guts and his backside. So,
so you got a window.
From my vantage point, I've probably got like a 8-inch window where I can slip an arrow into, and I'm looking at his vitals. But he must have had his front leg like
tucked back
a little bit, and so he's 25 yards, and I shoot, and just immediately loud crack.
You do shoot.
Oh yeah,
interesting.
But like. In my mind, it's just like I'm just looking at vitals.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
But immediately crack, and I obviously hit him in the shoulder, like just from the sound, and he dropped down on his chest and just like with his back legs just bulldozes on his chest through the woods about 70 yards. And so I knock another arrow as quick as I can, and like trying to find a shooting lane to like maybe get another shot in him, because I know I hit him in the shoulder, so I'm thinking like maybe I didn't get penetration, but looking back now, like both his front legs were out of commission. So I can't get another shot where he's laying. Like I stood on the seat, I squatted down on the platform. I was like,
so he
literally just
barreled through and then just kind of like stopped. Like now what?
Yeah, he stopped, and his back end was up in the air for a little bit, and then he just like flopped down there. So I'm like thinking, okay, well maybe he's just gonna die right here, but he still has his head up, and I'm like.
Dude, that's the most nerve-wracking feeling.
Dude, I was
to like watch that and just be like, I think it was a good hit, but I'm not sure. He's still alive. Like, is he going to just fall over and die, or is he going to
And like
mine happened in Iowa, 15 yards. I couldn't see the thing behind a massive walnut tree.
There was a blowover that he was close to that I like with binos I could barely even see him, and he was laid facing away from me, so I couldn't even like tell where I hit him for sure.
It's funny. I've done the whole seat thing where I like get up on the seat and I'm like, can I, you know, just like an extra 2 feet. Can I get
just looking for a shooting lane? I just didn't have one, and his head's up, so like if I crawl down, I feel like he's going to run away.
For sure, which you definitely don't want to do.
Right. And so I have a lighted knock, so I can see my knock lane over there. I could tell the arrow broke off.
Okay.
Like when I shot him. And I was like, okay, I can wait for dark and then try to go get the arrow to try to like put the pieces together about like what kind of penetration I got or whatever. But like, dude, he's only like 55 yards.
What time is it? Like
when I shot, it was 7:00 in the evening.
So you still have a decent amount of time?
I think it was like 7:45 was closing time.
Yep, that sounds right.
And so, yeah, he's laying at like 55 yards. And I was like, dude, I can't go get my arrow. Like, he's going to run away. So I called a couple people, tried to get other people's opinions. And, like, he had tried to get up a couple times, and he couldn't get up.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah, which is a good sign. And so after talking to a few people, I was like, okay, I'm going to wait for it to be pitch black. I'm going to, as sneakily as possible, get out of my tree. And I'm going to come back in the morning at daybreak. And if he's still alive somehow, I'll put another arrow in him.
That's a smart decision.
It is a smart decision. That's a tough decision for most hunters to make.
Because like if I go in there,
there's no reason
at any
to.
point he's going to get up. Like,
no reason.
You know those old bucks. If they get a shot of adrenaline, like
he's gone.
They can be.
He'll just use his back legs and freaking go. Like he doesn't
stand up and run away.
I mean that's
2 legs.
It's the freaking hardest part there because most people instinctively would even if they wait till dark, they're going to try to walk up to him. And so to leave an animal, especially knowing where he's at, that's a hard thing for most people to do.
Yeah, needless to say, I didn't sleep more than 3 hours
that
night. Like I didn't even try to go to bed. Then when I finally got kind of tired, I was like, okay, it's probably like midnight or 1 a.m. at this point. And it took like a dose and a half of melatonin to try to get some sleep. And I woke up at 3:00, couldn't sleep anymore.
I'll throw you some trippy dreams too.
Good for you for not going after him at midnight. So many guys do that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude,
I get it. Why? Odds? Like, I mean, from hey, I gave him 3 or 4 hours or whatever it is, but it's like your visibility is just trash at that point.
I don't like it. The only reason that I would ever go in after a deer that I'm not absolutely sure is dead after dark would be if I'm pretty confident coyotes are going to get him up and that's going to be a problem, or if it's going to like torrential downpour. Yep. Those are the only things that would drive me into the woods well after dark.
Yeah.
Yep. Otherwise, you're waiting. It's so hard to recover. It's just like, dude, the lighting, and it's just, I'm not good at seeing blood to begin with. I mean, maybe it's just me, but
I'm the same way. And then on top of, like, you're not losing anything.
Not losing anything.
Morning, and if he's dead, he's still going to be right there.
Yeah.
Unless it's 90 degrees overnight or whatever, but that's rare.
Yeah. So I knew I hit him in the shoulder as well. So like with a small fixed blade that I was shooting, I was like, there's not going to be a blood trail. Like if I kick him up and he takes off, I'm not going to have a blood trail to go off of.
No, the longer, and even if he's not like dead, the longer he lays in the spot, the more stiff he's going to be, the harder it is going to be for him to move.
Right.
Well, that's valid for the story too. So what are you shooting, like a slick trick or something?
It's a slick trick SS3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a 1-piece 3-blade solid 100 grain.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was pretty impressed with that thing.
Well, dude, honestly, that probably from a shoulder standpoint,
that's
what you want. Was a huge factor.
Yeah, it saved me, I think.
Huge factor.
So I ended up not actually hitting him in the shoulder blade. I hit him like in the actual leg bone.
Oh yeah, and that femur, which is thick as shit.
Yeah, and he was 230 field dressed, like in September. Like he's probably 260 plus walking around. Went through that leg bone, went into the chest cavity, and buried in the offside shoulder. And like the thing, I actually forgot to bring it along. I was gonna show you guys, but the thing, like, I'm probably going to sharpen it and use it again.
The broadhead.
Yeah.
It's that was a huge piece. I shot that one in the femur with a ramcat, and that thing lived.
Yeah. The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Hoyt.
Should be no surprise to anyone listening to this that back with Hoyt another season. I'm actually going to be shooting the AX2 aluminum this year.
You traitor.
But you're still going RX9.
Yeah, blacked out as always.
Blacked out. Big surprise for everyone.
80 pounds. Big surprise. Yeah.
But seriously, man, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Every year, it seems like we get a new Hoyt bow in our hands, and they're always a step above the last and just a step above everybody else.
Yeah, they're so consistent, man. Just their processes get better, every year. And we've really been excited about, as we've grown with Hoyt, we've brought some others in with us. And we just feel like the Hoyt family is growing, like the community, and we're really excited about the people that are involved, excited to be a part of that company. And it's really awesome.
So for anyone that's excited about Hoyt like Jared and I are, you can use the code HUNTR, HUNTR, on Hoyt.com.
Get serious, get Hoyt.
Yeah.
Are you building your arrows at all for
Yeah, so
penetration?
You were talking earlier, you shot a heavy arrow. I don't know if you still are.
I don't know what you guys consider heavy, but mine's like 520.
Yep, that's heavy.
Pretty heavy. Shooting 70 pounds?
Yeah.
That's really heavy.
It's definitely not light. It's not as heavy as I used to shoot.
That's built for penetration, though.
But yeah, so I'm shooting a 250 spine, and it's got a 50 grain collar on it. Because I was having a little bit of issues with the front splintering if I hit something hard, which, it's a micro diameter arrow. That's just how it is.
Yep.
But so with that collar on, that pretty well fixed that problem, I felt like, plus 100 grains. So that's 150 grains up front.
What bow were you shooting?
SR 350.
You must have a long arrow. How you get to 520
I was
grains?
going to say, you've got a long draw on it.
It's a 250 spine, too.
Yeah.
What's make and model of the arrow?
Victory VAP Elite.
The Victory VAP.
Yep.
Yeah, so you must have a long arrow.
Yeah, it's... I can't remember the measurement off the top of my head, but it's like 29
Because
and a half
I was
or
shooting
something.
that
29
setup.
and a half.
I was shooting a Victory
29.
VAP 250
on
with
an 80 pound.
With 80 pounds, and I was 500 grains.
Okay.
With your ethics.
And I had a heavy altered. It was like more than 50 grains.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I was also shooting 125 grain broadhead.
Really?
So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, there's a lot of weight there.
You sure you were shooting 250 spine?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I weighed my arrow. I have a grain.
I believe you. Yeah, absolutely. Interesting.
I wonder if you have an insert plus the collar, would be my guess. Because
it's 50 grain total, whatever the collar is.
Yep.
Cool. Well, anyways, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, so that's built for penetration.
Yeah, which, I've always been paranoid about, hitting shoulder or hitting a rib or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm pretty impressed that even with that it went through. I've always, I hear people say, I shot this deer in the shoulder and it went through and, I killed him or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but, what did you hit?
Yeah, shoulder blade is one thing.
Literally shattered this deer's leg.
Like femur and head of the that deer I shot right at the head of the femur. I'm talking dead in it, and that's why I didn't get any penetration. I mean, it cracked it, and he did not look good. But it didn't kill him. To blow through that and
it's crazy.
This thing, you could bend his leg bone.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Dude, I did that to an elk with that same arrow setup with a freaking Rage.
Kidding. Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're shooting 80 pounds, though, too.
It was 80 pounds, but I mean, 10 pounds of difference is not a massive difference. It was that 500 grain setup that we just talked about. And at the time, I believe I had a Rage, is what it was.
But no, I think it was a Sever.
I can't recall. It was one of the two. And it got through. It was the arrow and the bow setup that got it through. I mean, and
for sure.
That broadhead somehow was durable enough to hold up. I had to put another arrow in it because it only got into one lung. But it still broke that freaking shoulder.
Yeah, it's also an elk.
Like a 5-year-old bull, which was crazy.
That's crazy.
So, okay. So you leave. You're like, I'm coming back in the morning.
Yep.
Who's with you? Who you call? Did your dad go with you?
My dad went with me. So nobody actually
Does your dad call bullshit after you shoot this? He's like, oh, okay.
It's funny. He's actually the first guy I called. So I'm still up in the tree stand.
Yeah.
And at this point, he knows if I'm calling, at
that
time, something
you either
happened.
Fell out of the tree or you
we
killed
all
something.
do. We know the feeling. We're like, why are you calling me?
And he's like, what? I was like, I just got an arrow in him. He's like, you got to be shitting me.
He's just laying in the truck bed. He's like, what do you want me to do?
And so the next morning, I went. So my plan was to, right at daybreak, one step at a time, take a step, glass, because I don't want to bump him. I want to see him before he sees me if he's still alive. So I go in there real slow, and so I'm by myself. I'm spot and stock mentality.
Yeah.
But Dad and my cousin John came down with me to be there if, it was a track job.
That mindset right there is although we should all have the most deadliest mindset when we're sitting in a tree, that mindset of when you're like, I have a wounded animal, I'm making an approach. there is no noise. You don't step on a twig. You don't make the wrong move. You overanalyze every movement that you're making as
Yeah.
you're making that approach.
And like anything like an ear twitch or anything, and like that's what you're looking for. And so I don't see him, and I don't see him. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
And you feel like I'm like he should be right here.
Yeah, and so I'm coming in from a different direction than like obviously what my tree stand is.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
So
okay.
like it's hard to kind of
just to put those different angles
points.
into.
Yeah. So I'd like look at the tree stand and like look where I thought he should be, and like I'd get a little bit close. It's like a little bit over a little bit of a not a knob, but it just kind of drops.
Just a little drop.
Yeah. And so I'm not seeing. I'm like, dude, he got up and ran away. And I get like to 50 yards from this spot, and I was like, oh, see fur. And I had to sidestep a little bit and see a rack tipped over. I was like, oh, thank God.
Like that's a immediate like.
Yeah, that's a relief, but I'm still like not 100%.
Like he could just be tired and laying down.
Yeah. And so I grabbed a stick, threw it. Like
classic move.
Was ready.
Interesting strategy.
Classic move.
Like I
Stick
thought
throw.
maybe he would like stand up or like move to where I could tell if he was dead or not, but he didn't move. And so then I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure he's dead. Walked out.
I know a lot of guys that just shoot them. Like at that point, they're just like,
really?
if they get a shot, they'll just put one in them.
Huh. That didn't even cross my mind, but
I know. I never did until I heard a bunch of people they're like, yeah, man, if I'm walking up on one like that, I'll just shoot it again. And like,
Even if he's like visibly dead, like heads down and everything?
yeah.
Interesting.
huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I would if he moves. If
Yeah.
his heads
No,
up
it's
or
like
something.
as soon as they get
I was
open.
ready. I was like, if this thing even so much as twitches.
As soon as they
Yeah.
get an
Yeah.
opening, like to what you said, like I don't want to
just to
see
be
an ear
sure.
twitch.
Just make sure.
Yeah, at most like to make sure they'll put one in it and it'll just.
That's weird.
Yeah.
See, at that distance, I'm more opt to drop my bow and tackle it.
I've seen him
I've done it.
make those moves before.
Yeah.
I've done that too.
Yeah. If you're that close, I mean,
have not done that before,
obviously,
so.
if you can get another arrow in them, if they're,
Right.
but if they're hurt that bad, they're not going to get up.
Right.
Yeah, well, again, so I mean, did he move at all from where?
So what do you do then? You choke them out or what? So
Knife 'em.
Depends. Knife is probably the go-to. If you're near a creek,
You guys, you know,
Drown them.
Do you know who Bryce Mitchell is?
no.
The UFC fighter.
Yeah, I know Bryce. Mm-hmm.
He, I forget whose podcast it was on, but he said he choked out a deer one time, like
Oh, I
choked it to
bet.
death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Snuck up on it.
I don't know if I'm
like,
strong enough to do that. That would be hard.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I thought that was fun.
Strangulation.
yeah, drowning
Brutal.
one for sure.
Brutal.
So yeah, where were we at?
So you threw the stick.
Too many rabbits.
You threw a stick
You
at
threw
it.
a stick. He didn't fetch it.
Yeah, he didn't catch it with his mouth.
He was laying right where I last seen him.
Okay, he didn't move.
I actually figure he was probably dead before I got out of the tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
I stayed in the tree for like 45 minutes for
Yeah.
it to get like
Yeah,
pitch
yeah.
black before I crawled down. with
Yeah,
him
so
being
you
at
couldn't tell
55.
what he was doing at that point,
No.
anyways.
No. Also, I think I forgot to mention this. Like right at last light, like I was looking through my binos, and to me, it looked like his head was like,
Oh yeah,
Going
doing the old
backwards.
fade.
Oh.
and it looked like he was, but dude, it was so hard to see that
Yeah.
I was not confident.
Well,
that
and
it
your
was
your
still-
brain's telling you you're seeing that too,
That's,
and
yeah, exactly. I thought maybe I was
The
just
old-
seeing stuff.
the old head rolls and things like everything that you
Yeah.
want to see at that
Yeah.
point.
And
Cool.
so, yeah, he was laying right where I last seen him at. So
Damn, man, that's crazy.
I was just
So yeah, I assume he was pretty stiff.
Oh yeah. Well, like yeah, you seen the picture of him like with his head up.
Yep.
I didn't even have to do anything. I just like tipped him
Just
up.
tipped
and
him up
that's-
over.
That's how he was. So didn't have to prop him up or anything.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
He's a
I was-
freaking giant.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
was-
huge deer.
I was very, very relieved and very grateful to finally put a ending to that story.
Well, dude, I mean that, like, obviously, if you just said, "Hey, I went out opening day, I saw this deer in the summer, and I shot him," like, awesome, right? But like, the history
This
and the
is way
story
cooler.
and everything, yeah,
Yeah,
man,
it-
it's like there's a lot of time, effort, a lot of
Yeah.
lows, put into to getting it.
I feel like God had a plan, and it was not for me to shoot him at 4 or 5 year old. So
Yeah, right.
I was just very grateful to.
Wish you had that plan for me on some of these deer.
They don't get to live that long.
You never know.
Yeah. What do you think? Were you surprised by the score, or were you kind of guessing?
I was a little bit surprised because we have his sheds from last year, and those depending on the spread is like right at 190.
Uh-huh.
And so I knew he lost that drop time. It looked
Yep.
like he put a little bit of size on.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely grew even with that weaker 2 over there. He still
Right.
has better 2
Yep.
overall.
So like just with the drop times, like he lost 4 or 5 inches there. So I was thinking he might crack 200,
Mm-hmm.
but then he went 213. So
Dude, that you said it was 29 and 2/8 for the beam.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and
that's
these tip forward 4s are deceiving too, because that thing's way longer than you'd think on a trail camera.
Oh
Yeah, dude, that G3 is
G3 is
look at this
sweet.
Look at this beam, Jeremy, from that side.
I know, dude.
That beam.
I mean,
that's ridiculous.
It's a 30-inch beam, basically.
Yeah. And his left side alone is 100 inches.
How
It's
wide is he
99
inside?
20 and 7/8.
Yep.
Yep.
He's above average in every category.
He's so cool. Like he's got really good mass, but like I don't know how to say this. Like not so much that it takes away from like because his tine length is just
his
like
tine length.
He's got the right amount of mass
yeah.
all over the place. It's not, you wouldn't say, oh, he's a super heavy deer.
Right.
He is, but he's just the tines like
his brows remind me of that booner you killed on Jed's farm.
Yeah, very similar.
Just straight,
very
like V's.
very similar. Yeah.
Toby Hughes, the guy who scored him, he said like an average mature buck, the mass is like 34, I think, like total mass measurements.
Sounds right.
Interesting.
This one's 39.
Yeah, so not that much more.
Yeah.
I mean, but significant across 8 measurements.
Right. And like.
But dude, 29-inch beams, like.
Yeah, it doesn't count for anything, but he does carry his mass up in his tines too.
So
yeah.
to give you a reference point, I mentioned that Iowa deer. He didn't score anywhere close to 213, and his tine length isn't nearly as good. His mass was almost 50 inches.
Holy smokes!
He was just shy of 50 inches of
that's
mass.
crazy.
That was super heavy.
Your buck last year?
Yeah.
The Iowa
Oh,
deer.
unreal.
And the trash on here is a little bit deceiving too. Like you. Like,
it adds up, dude.
It adds up. Like as a mainframe.
What's that right there? 5 inches?
Something like that.
Yep.
Just
Each extra brow tine.
Right.
You got
kickers here.
You got 9 inches of extra brow tine.
I
there.
mean, is this is over 13, right? This too?
Yeah.
13 7/8.
Yeah.
That's almost 14 inches.
Yeah, I mean,
so
and then
wild.
you've got it over 12s on the 3s.
Yeah.
That one's probably 13 plus on that 3.
It's also 12 and change.
12 and change.
Mm.
But like, so his main frame is like 192, I think.
Wow.
Then he's got like 21 inches of extras.
Wow.
It's a 192-inch 10-pointer. That is wild.
Technically 11 with that little G5.
Yeah.
They tell you what. So what would his net score be, or do you not know?
Net, I have no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, nets are for fish.
Did you enter it in a record book, or are you going to? Or
Buckmasters?
I mean, Buckmasters would probably. Yeah.
Is Buckmasters exclusively Ohio?
No.
No.
BTR.
That's the only place I ever hear about
it's
it.
The BTR is the Buckmasters record book. But yeah, I mean, you can get them.
And what is it? How is it different than Pope and Young or Boone and Crockett's?
They basically take the green, gross green score. Essentially, is what it is.
Oh,
so they're not worried
so they don't
about
do the
nets
net
and stuff.
score even.
They do have some. They do have some other ones like they take in like they do an outside spread as well as an inside
I
spread.
saw that on your score sheet or somebody's score sheet.
No, I didn't post a score sheet.
Somebody sent me one recently.
But the outside spread doesn't count for
No.
anything.
They just measure that.
Yeah,
whereas
sure.
Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young don't even record that stuff.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even tell you what his outside measurement is.
Yeah, because it would actually
it's probably 23 and change.
It would be it includes the tip of the non-typical. It's
it does.
Yeah, it's not his frame. It's the furthest outside.
Interesting.
So you'd have to take both of them to see what would be better, and it has to be
He'd be freaking
parallel to the skull. So you can't like take it from this beam to that. It has to be parallel.
Probably like 26 or 27. Then.
Exactly. And again, that doesn't necessarily. I think it does
mean
count
anything,
if there's a tie for like a tiebreaker in the record book.
Really?
I think that's how that's why they take those extra measurements and stuff. Yeah.
You can't have a tie?
I mean, you can, but like if it's the number one, I don't think you want a tie.
So you default to outside score.
I think that's what it is.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, he's got it, man. Nothing about this deer makes me question the score. That's what I've always said. Like when people send me their buck score or their buck, what is it called? Buck Masters.
Yeah.
They're always more than what I think, which I'm just looking at them. So, I mean, I'm not actually putting tapes on them, but this one honestly doesn't. I'm like, I can see it.
A deer gets, I think it's 40% of its score comes from tine length. So this dude has it, right?
Yeah.
Like he's freaking got it.
That's what I told Zach on the way here is like, well, I've told him a couple times, like most deer, like you can look at, well, if he just had a little bit more tine length or if he just had a little bit more mass, like he just has it all.
Yeah.
He's not lacking anything.
30% is the mass. That's why yours scored so good as an 8 point is because he had great mass. 20% is the beams. But when you have substantial beams like this, it can make up if you've got like even at 39 mass, that's good. It's not 50, but like you had 29-inch beams, which are way above the normal. Yeah. And then 10 inches or 10% is the spread. So like that's the least
Those
valuable.
are the two easiest to lose it on too. Like those narrow deer, like you're just cutting inches off, like right out of the way. And that means they probably have shorter beams too.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So that's how your breakdown is.
Right.
But no, that freaking deer's got it all, dude. Yeah, and like I said, the history around it, man, is
this is your biggest ever, right?
Oh yeah.
Like all of this is just awesome.
Yeah.
Like this is why we do it, right? Like to be able to have like this journey, you know, through stuff, because people jump on us all the time because they're like, man, you know, you guys are just talking about 5-year-old bucks, and like it's like, dude, we're not.
In fairness, look how much cooler this one is than. I mean, all these are cool, but like, look what they can do.
I'm very glad I missed.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool if you killed them there. It'd still be awesome.
That's a dinosaur. Like that's
a freak.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's just, you know, there's a couple things. It's also why there's like, and I'm sure, you know, there isn't, but there's probably a little bit of like, I wouldn't say regret, but like the game's over on him. Yeah. Right. So like next season, you'll start over again, and we love that. That's a cool part of it. But it's like, you know, there will be part of you in the summertime when you're checking pictures, you're like, he's not there.
I know.
And he's not going to be there.
I mean, it's already happening. Like, I'll wake up in the morning and check cameras, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, well, even late season.
What am I looking for?
You're like, he's not going to show up late season. Yep. I'm not going to go find his sheds in the off season.
That's something I noticed with, like, chasing specific deer. Yep. Like, dude, the last 2 years we've had one really good buck that I'm locked in on, and after you kill that buck, like the farm feels empty.
It does.
It's almost a void. It's almost sad. Like literally,
I know, man.
It almost.
Well, it's like, you know, it took 6 years to grow this thing. Yep. And so you might have a couple really good 3-year-olds or a good 4-year-old, but like you're still a few years away or a couple years away from making that thing be in the category, and even still, like it's not probably going to be in this category, right? It's going to be 160 or 170, which is an awesome buck.
Yep,
absolutely.
But it's like how often do you trip across bucks like this? And it's you know, especially in today's society, just with technology and everything that we've talked about in the past, it's like it's more and more rare to keep producing them over and over again. You can find them, or people are finding them more easily with what we have. Right. But like once you have one and it gets taken off the table, it's harder to backfill them and reproduce it again.
Yep. People have been asking me like, does this like change your threshold of like bucks that you'll shoot? And I'm like, probably not.
It can't. No. What are you gonna do? Say, oh, I'm only gonna shoot a 215 next time?
Yeah, like it's still gonna be the same. Although it is gonna make the other deer look smaller.
It will. Yeah, for sure.
I've already said like I'm gonna have to hang him in a separate room in my house because he's gonna make my other bucks look tiny.
Well, and whether again it's history or just getting like you know that 10 point you killed that was 170, like that was an old deer, that was a giant deer. Like those are the things that like there's a reason we keep chasing those things, is because like they're reaching that potential where it's like that's what we're looking for, and the story along the way and the chase to get there.
That buck, I had actually missed him too.
Like well, I would say
2 years before that.
Next year, if you miss a 4-year-old, good chance he's going to look pretty good in a year or two.
I think you should keep shooting at him.
Just keep shooting. Just keep volleying.
I was actually just brainwashing him the whole time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're like, he's like, safe over here. I can't hit you.
Yeah, he's not going to hit me.
There was actually at one point when he was making a scrape and I was at full draw, he put his head down and like I swear he was looking right at me. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like I didn't.
He's
move.
like, oh, that's Zac. I'm okay.
Like, oh, it's just that guy.
Yeah,
like,
I'm clear.
Yeah,
he's
not in any trouble.
Yeah,
but
I'm curious just because like it's not easy for a deer, especially in Ohio with corn piles and crossbows and February seasons. And
tell them about the neighbor.
Yeah, the neighbor. Like so, where this deer is at, like I can show you guys on the map then, but like 4 properties come together, and I've seen him with my own eyes like come off of both or 2 different properties onto us, and the one. Since August, he's had a corn pile down in the corner of the property with a tree stand over.
Just right where they all come.
Yeah. Just right down in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that guy, I'm sure was a little bit butthurt that.
I'm sure he had him on camera.
You talked to him?
Well, you said the deer died within sight of his stand, right?
Oh, I would imagine. I mean, I guess I don't know his viewpoint from his stand, but
close enough.
But he hadn't had a picture.
Yeah, so that's one of the neighbors that contacted me then. He said he hasn't had a picture of him in 2 weeks. And, from where his corn pile was to where he was bedded was probably inside of 400 yards. So
I think that's that acorn impact, man.
Well, I agree.
Pull that right up to you.
Okay.
I think they just
right
really
from right here.
Like from a corn pile standpoint. And I have a lower deer density in my place in Kentucky, but
pull it up a little bit.
But I've got
that works too.
I had areas where I put corn piles out
like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're fine. Just to like survey stuff, and it literally germinated because there were so many acorns around. They didn't eat it.
Yeah.
Like they just.
Well,
didn't care.
at the same time though, we know, and I'll tell you guys the story of that Ohio deer shot him off a corn feeder opening morning. I didn't, but the neighbor did.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk? You talked to the farm manager, right? His farm manager guy.
Mm-hmm.
Josiah.
He's not farm manager, the guy that helps him run cameras.
Right.
You mean?
Yeah. Was that Vinny?
Yeah. There's Vincent and
is it Josiah?
Josiah, I think.
I know Vinny. Really
yeah,
well.
yeah. I know you do. In fact, when I was getting ready to meet them, I thought they were the other guys that were at the event.
Oh.
Because I hadn't put the face with the name there yet. So what's Jason and Vinny's group called? Whitetail Habitat, remember. Something or other.
I know Vinny too. I can't remember what is it Steve that's with him?
I don't know. I just know
if it's Josiah that did my stuff, it's like
same guy.
It's game plan something. Game
Yeah.
plan management or something like that.
So yeah, that's so what were you asking me? Yes, that's
I was just
who
saying,
it was.
I know Vinny. My dad goes to church with Vinny,
Mhm.
and they know each other really well. And I played softball with Vinny this summer and stuff. And
yeah, sounds like they cover some ground. Like they work on a lot of properties.
Yeah, he was telling us about that. Are we on?
Yeah, we're always on.
He was just telling me all about that stuff and what he was I guess actually running the cell cameras for that guy and then just updating him on what's going on.
Yeah, that's how they do it. Yeah, so I met him and those guys. So like, I'll just tell the story real quick while we're at it. So opening morning in Ohio, I shot what Buck scores I keep calling it Buck score. Buckmaster scored at 196 and some change inch deer, 4-year-old deer that I had at least 1 year of history with, probably more like 2. Probably I start paying attention when they're 2, 3, and I'll try to backtrack them or whatever.
You had them at 2. We went back and looked. We're like, this is probably him at 2. Yeah, definitely a lot last year at 3, and then this year at 4.
196 at 4.
That's what they're saying.
Jeez.
That's what they're
saying.
And
I mean, the deer was built to score. Again, time length.
I'll show you a picture.
Lots of
and
points.
You can see what you think,
but it did seem surprising, at least from because it's still a 4-year-old. But yeah.
Let's see. What was opening day?
27th.
Yeah.
So the long story short, because I've kind of told here before, so just for our guest's sake, I'll expedite it. My uncle, so our farm is, our farm's our farm. And then my uncle owned a bunch of ground, like pushing 2,500 acres that some bordered us immediately, and a lot of it didn't. It was just more satellite stuff. And we had permission along with a bunch of other people. My uncle was just kind of like, would let a bunch of people hunt type of thing. And this past year, we found out through like some fairly unfortunate circumstances that the piece, all of it, including a 160 and some other pieces directly adjacent to us, one that I knew that this deer was kind of living on part-time, was being sold. You could say out from under. So basically, first time we heard about it was under contract with a group of Amish guys that were they're flippers.
Gotcha.
And fast forward, this gentleman, there's another Amish guy that bought it from those guys.
Okay.
Solely based on a picture of this deer. The real estate agent went in, dumped a corn pile, got a picture of this deer. He buys the farm. We end up making contact. He calls me and he's like finding out who we are, and we want to be good neighbors and stuff. So we're trying to build a relationship best we can considering the circumstances.
Right.
And fast track again, we're having conversations about this deer, and he knows about it. I know about it. We're talking about it. I tell him how old I think it is, and he's like, well, what do you think we should do? He's like, I bought this farm because I want to grow a big deer, and he's big Don Higgins guy, and so I basically he let me make the call, and I was like, hey, dude, I think considering all the variables, we should probably just shoot him. You know what I mean? He's a high scoring deer. I said, I don't like his chances, even if you and I pass him, of him living. I said, we probably should just shoot him if we get the chance. Right. I'll show you a picture here and then I'll finish the story. Here you go. You can have that.
Don't mind.
There's maybe a couple others left and right if you care to scroll, but so here's getting into the meat of the story. So the day before opening day, I get a picture of him.
Where do you hit him at?
I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you. You can just sit in the middle there. The day before opening day, I get a picture of this deer coming up, and he's hitting a scrape right in front of my stands, very close to.
It's probably the best picture we had of him. Yeah, just from like a classic, like you just see massive frame, just like raking this tree right at early morning. Like everything about it was like, it's an awesome picture.
It's a great deer. It's a vine scrape, and nice. Here it is. I'll show you the picture.
But when you see that, you're like, that's a big deer.
And there's a series of like 8 or 10 pictures.
Yeah, that's the one that you get, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm shooting him.
Yeah.
You can show that to Kevin too. And so I get that picture. This is the first time so there was like a 2-week period where he kind of had like moved. He wasn't. So last year as a 3-year-old, what he did was I had a brassica field down by a water hole, just down the hill from this picture, like maybe 150 yards. And last year he was just crushing it, like because those brassicas had so much moisture, and we see that a lot, like in August, September. But this year, because of the drought, like our green plots were just terrible, like dust.
And that water hole still had water, right?
Yep.
But he just wouldn't
hit it. And they're still not, dude. I'm just not getting a lot of activity on that water hole right now.
He had a lot last year.
A ton. Ton. So he wasn't doing what he was doing last year. He kind of had like he was gone from our feeders. I wasn't getting him on surrounding scrape cameras and stuff. I was like, I don't know. He's just probably off crushing acorns somewhere. I'm like, he probably is. And I knew in the meantime that this new neighbor had moved in and put these monstrosity feeders. Like,
yeah, he set it up fast.
They're like 5,000-pound feet. I've seen pictures that they look like UFOs, which I have feeders too. So it's not like feeder versus feeder. It's just, and I think he's just feeding corn. So I'm not exactly sure where he's at. So the guy calls me. It's actually the day before I get this picture. It's leading right up to season. And he's like, man, I'm just all jacked up about this deer. And he's like, we haven't really seen him that much either. And I told him, I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, as of right now, I don't really have a play for him. I'm not sure what the plan is. And so that's kind of where we left it. I was like, good luck to you, and whatever. And so it was cool. So then the next morning I get this picture. It's the day before opening day. And I'm like, there he is. Like, and I'm not typically going to hunt opening mornings or mornings in October for the first half of it, unless I have like a solid plan or a stand that I can get into to intercept,
I agree.
Yeah. It's just too risky. Mm-hmm. But I knew this deer was going to die. I was like, it's just a matter of time. I knew. And so in that conversation, the neighbor told me, he's like, I'm going to be hunting him opening morning. I'll be in there at 5:30. First light is at like 6:45. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's freaking early, dude. But based on the picture, I'm like, I bet he's circling back from that feeder. I was like, there's a pretty good chance that the guy bumps him going in. And I was like, I need to be in there before he does. Yep. So that was my strategy. It's funny in hindsight how much you can how much strategy you can develop from so little. So I'm like, he's going to be in there 5:30. I think he's doing this. I got this most recent picture yesterday. I have the right wind for it. I had a northeast wind to be in this set. So that's what we did. Dad and I had our conversation. I was like, hey, dude, here's the picture. What do you think? And he's like, I think you should try him. I'm like, think I should try him? Because he and I were hunting this deer. I was like, all right, I'll try him. So then we debated a little bit about how to get in there. I'm like, do I walk in? Do I bike in? I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of, going in the mornings in October anyways. But so I landed on the bike. We got an e-bike. And so I was like, I think he's coming from across the fence. So like my wind's good the whole way. I just don't think he's going to be right there. So the morning comes. I decide to get in there just before he does. So it's like 5 o'clock. I get up, whatever. And
no pictures of him through the night.
No pictures through the night. And I bike in, and sure enough, there's freaking does bedded all over the place. And it's just like what you'd expect on an October morning. But, so I got my headlight on like normal.
Did they blow at you?
So I rode past for sure 2 groups of does, or rather one I rode past in a small woodlot. They stayed bedded, looked right at them at the light, but then just kept going. I'm kind of a believer of just keep your pace, keep going. So they stayed. I get to where I'm going, which is 100, 150 yards from the stand, put the bike down, and I start walking up the hill to this stand that's like on a ridge. And I get to the crest of the ridge, and sure enough, there's 2 does laying like right under the stand. They get up and jump off. I'm like 10 yards from them, I get right to them, but then they trot off. One blows once, I think, but then they're gone. So they head south. And I think this deer's coming from, like the west. Yeah, the west, if I'm thinking about that right. Or sorry, the east. They're coming from east, and I have an east wind. And I'm thinking he's gonna come and then come up this fence line like he did the day before. So I get in the tree. Minutes later, I hear him putting in on his 4-wheeler. So it's like literally he was there at 5:30, and I was there at like 5:25. And it's so early. So we're way ahead of daylight. So then we get in this tree, and I hear him putting. I'm like, hey, here we are, And then we sit in darkness for an hour and 15 minutes. I do have a few deer kind of work through and stuff, but I'm like, you can't see them anyways. So that camera never went off, or I couldn't tell that it did. So nothing was right at that scrape or anything. So it gets to about, I want to say first light was 6:45. Sunrise was 7:15. I want to say it was like right around 7:15 or 7:30. I hear what I think is a shot. And I'm like,
which is impressive since it's bow season.
Yeah. Well, it's the guy's on with a crossbow. And I know roughly where he's at. It's probably, I don't know, 250, maybe 300 yards, like if I had to guess, to where he's at in his blind. And so I think I hear something. I'm like, that sounded like a shot maybe. And then I hear, like 30 seconds later, I hear it like a crack, like a loud, like a log crack or something. I'm like, I don't know. Like something's happening. And then maybe a couple minutes later, down in the field below me, I see some does kind of like run out there, and then they're like looking back. I'm like, okay, something happened up there, obviously, And I'm like, you're like, on one hand, I'm like, okay, he definitely shot him, but on the other hand, I'm like, I'm just paranoid that it's like, because who knows? The next thing you look, here he could come walking up the fence line, but so sure enough, like, a couple minutes later, I look down in this draw. I can see across into the property that he owns, and I put the binos up, and I can see him coming. And almost as soon as I get the binos on him, he like plops down and is bedded. I can't see a wound right away, but the way he's laying, I'm like, nah, he doesn't. I was like, he looks hurt, is what I thought. And he's not bedded for very long. He gets up and starts walking again. At that point, I can see a big wound on his right side, right, like a liver area, huge gash, like
that picture that you showed,
like an axe,
yeah. and I see, I can see the wound, and you see him start walking kind of up the hill in my direction. He's coming right to this like inside corner that I'm on, and he makes it like, I don't know, 60 yards and plops down again, and gets up, does that like three, four times. At some point, I can see after like maybe the 4th bed, which he's only like 60 yards from me at this point, 40 to 60 yards. He's just across the fence.
Okay.
I can see the other wound. So I see a wound here in a neck, like, or right a few inches in front of his front shoulder, and then the other one is right in the liver. Both like just monster like hack wounds. And in my mind, I'm like, he's done. Like, he's done. He's toast. At this point, I'm just watching the deer die for the guy, basically.
Right.
And also he's Amish, like I said, so I can't call him or text him. There is no way to. It's like you hear from you, he contacts you, kind of a thing.
Right.
And so he is in what I think is his last bed on his side of the fence, head down. Has been in multiple beds. His head's been down, and so I'm like, in the last one there, I'm like, he's done, he's toast. In fact, I stopped recording because I was like, it's over, and he's there. I was just in the tree to be like, I hadn't gotten down. I don't know. You know what I mean? Right. I'm like, I called my dad, I called Jeremy, and I was on the phone with Jeremy when this guy calls me, the neighbor calls me, and we have a conversation, and he thinks that like I answer quietly. And he's like, hey, are you in beds yet? He's like, I'm sorry to wake you. I'm like, no, dude. I was like, I'm in the tree stand. I was like, I just shot your buck. He's like, oh my goodness. What do you mean? what's going on? What, so I told him, I was like, I watched him bed 4 or 5 times, and then here he ended up jump. So what happened was he got up out of that last bed, and he stood up and walked over, jumped the fence. Okay, I have footage of this. I can show it to you. Jumps the fence and walks right over to my stand 15 yards, and I put another one through him.
Nice.
Then he runs down the hill and runs.
It's amazing.
He dies like 10 yards from my e-bike.
I mean, that was like a really insane classic case of like, if you look at what that, I mean, it for sure caught single lung and liver would have been my guess.
So up here was it entry or
entry?
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, a large gash, and it's like, how's that deer still alive?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
What was he shooting?
It's called a SWAT broadhead. I asked him. I was like, "What is that?" It's like a 3 3/4 inch. Like it's a freaking monster.
It's like a turkey decap.
Mechanical. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, if you think, so it for sure caught lung and liver in that pass through.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that deer, just the sheer muscle of like getting up and moving spots, and then even jumping that fence. It's like.
It's unreal.
Yeah. It's crazy what those old bucks can.
Well, he wasn't that old though. I mean, he's like a 4-year-old deer.
True, but he's still bigger than your average deer.
He's not like a 2-year-old who just like gives up.
Yeah. Or a doe or whatever.
HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Lone Wolf Custom Gear.
Man, those Lone Wolf stands have become such a cornerstone of our equipment over, recently, but I mean, also we've been using these stands for a long time, even the original Lone Wolves. They're all built right here in the United States. The lines just keep getting better and better. Cody and Andre and the whole team just keep innovating and introducing new stuff into the line this year. And they've got some new things coming this year.
Yeah, so this year we've got the Patriot Series, which, a lot of people are talking about this as being the cheaper, just fixed position side of things. But let's be honest, they can be mobile too, right? They weigh 12 pounds, but they're built from a value standpoint. So for guys like us who want to have 3, 4, 5 preset stands out there for certain wins, we can put this Patriot Series out there, have them ready. Nothing better than slipping up into one of these fixed position stands that's already set on the right wind.
No doubt. And so this year, as of right now, you can use code HUNTR, HUNTR. It's a one-time use promo code. Gets you 10% off anything on the Lone Wolf Custom Gear website. That's any of the custom gear stuff, any of the Patriot Series. So whether you're planning on getting into one for the first time or you want to stack a big order here before the season, code HUNTR will get you 10% off.
Hunt like a wolf.
That 10-pointer I was telling you guys about, the 175. So when I gutted him, the backs of his lungs were discolored. And I took note of it when I gutted him, but didn't really think that much of it. And then I had a neighbor contact me. He's like, "Oh yeah, we shot this thing like 2 years ago." And they have trail cam picture of the entry. And like, dude, it's like maybe that far back from where I would probably aim. They double lunged this thing, just caught the backs of the lungs.
And he healed up.
And he healed up, survived. But he was like, I mean, this would have been middle of January.
So he would have been a 5-year-old that year? If you killed him at 7.5?
Yeah. Yeah, he would have been a 5-year-old that year.
Any idea what kind of broadhead they're shooting? Or?
I don't remember. But so, yeah.
Wow.
That's just crazy.
How do you not hit liver?
Well, inside the diaphragm, right?
Yeah, he just must have been angled the right direction.
Yeah.
How can you catch rear of lungs without hitting liver? Doesn't the liver sit like right behind the?
But you got the diaphragm in between,
separating the lungs and liver.
Actually, here's another story. So you always hear like liver is lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So I shot a buck. I'll show you guys that picture too. So the neighbor shot him the year before. He was hard quartering away. He shot him. I forget what. I think it was a 3-blade rage. He shot him hard quartering away, and it must have hit the ribs and snapped off.
Mm-hmm.
But the arrow still made it inside the chest cavity.
Yeah.
Got into the liver. So I shoot this thing the next year, and I'm gutting him. And I'm like, what is this hard thing right here? And there's the front 6 inches of the arrow is through the very bottom of his liver, and he survived.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's
and
nuts.
He threw some trash.
Oh, yeah.
But he lived a whole year.
That's crazy.
It's how much of the organ do you have to damage to kill them? Because, obviously they can live with the rear lungs clipped in some cases and some part of the liver.
I mean, I know plenty that have shot low and clipped the bottom part of the heart and they survive.
Well, but then in Zach's case, that buck, I mean, you hit him a little low and, I mean, he was dead next morning.
What'd you end up getting? Did you look at
So when I gutted him, so I was under the impression when I, walked up to him that I must have skimmed on the outside of the chest cavity and got into the other side shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was gutting him, I pulled out, which I should have known that his chest cavity was full of blood.
Yeah.
So when I pulled the heart and the lungs out, like I did a quick 360 to look for a hole, didn't see anything, tossed him. I was in a hurry because it's the next morning, we got to get him on ice. And so it wasn't until we got home and skinned him out that I realized I got inside the chest cavity.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was an entry and an exit hole in the chest cavity.
Yeah.
And so
it had to hit something.
I clipped heart.
Yeah.
I think
that would be my guess based on up front and low would be heart.
If it was an artery, he would have bled out faster.
Agree.
So I'm thinking I clipped the heart.
I would agree.
I looked for a hole real quick, didn't see one at all.
Probably sliced like right through the heart or something.
Yeah.
Dude, it's not far from where Dale hit that deer. Like, so
I think Dale probably hit the bottom vertex of that heart. And I think that's sometimes they die from that and sometimes they don't.
Huh.
And the trick is like,
because it was in that diaphragm. Like my uncle hit a deer that night of that story I was just telling, and I filmed it. I can show you that too. Definitely got in. It was super low,
lower than yours for sure.
Super low, and not as far back. It was like right where you want to. It was right where you're gonna put it, left and right, just super low, and you can see glimpses as he's walking away of the exit wound. I am pretty confident that that's what you can see there. Like, and
it looked like it may have hit his sternum and like deflected up. So like the exit was actually higher than the entrance. Like, kind of like that through.
So like,
and he bled for 300 yards.
Yep. Followed decent blood for 300 yards. Ended up having a drone out. Found him bedded like 300 yards from there, alive, and we all made the assessment that probably a non-lethal hit.
Because at that point, it was like 18 hours later, or at least. So, I mean, you're like, that's the thing. It's like, when's the call? Like, if you find him 18 hours later and he's still alive, you kind of have to be like, well.
So here's the up in the air at this point is I still don't have him on camera. I've not got him on camera since. I went this past week or like a few days ago and put my non-thermal drone, just like I have like a DJI Mavic Pro.
Right.
And I flew it and I got way down low. Because it's in this like big clear cut, this bedding area, and I didn't want to go blow it out. And so I flew right to the spot where this deer had been bedded. I had the exact coordinates. I flew right to it. And I get way down. There's a 3-year-old 7-point I've seen in there. He's bedded like a few feet from where he was. So he eventually gets up and kind of trots off. And I don't see anything. I don't see any sign of a dead deer. There are no vultures, no nothing. So I'm like hoping he'll show back up here at some point. It's a 6-year-old buck,
I think the question comes like, it could have, if it cut the heart, like he either heals up or he dies. Like that's probably at this point, like if he's alive, he sure as hell still doesn't feel good. No. So he's probably not moving much. He's probably hunkered down hardcore. He's probably going to look like shit when he does show back up because he probably hasn't been eating or doing much. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of odd that he hasn't showed back up on camera.
That buck that got double lunged and lived. So when as a 7.5-year-old field dressed, he was like 160.
Yeah, so he was hurting.
He was not in good shape. And actually, I forgot the most craziest part of the story. After I shot him, his antlers fell off. So yeah.
The 175.
That late season one.
So the 175 is not an official score because he doesn't have an official spread. Oh. But you can get it real close.
That's dumb.
Can you glue him back on?
The taxidermist got him back on somehow.
Yeah.
He said like the pedicles fit.
They fit.
It's like a puzzle piece almost.
Yeah,
so
that's what I would do too. I'd put him back on.
Yeah.
Either that or do like one of these like a rack hub mount or something.
Yeah. I think there's a system out there that you can like on a shoulder mount you can put.
I think so too.
Put the antlers on.
Yeah.
They're magnetic maybe.
There's a couple different systems. I've seen those. Yeah. They're cool.
Yeah, to hook them back in.
It's nice to be able to take them off and like hold them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of European mounts for that reason.
I am
because dude, the bummer about this thing is, I assume you're doing like a pedestal or something.
Yep.
The bummer is once he's on there.
He's on there.
He's on there. You won't be able to like do this with him anymore and pick him up, and so you kind of do it while you can.
Yep.
Or get a replica made.
With the skull caps or Europeans handling them and feeling them.
I'm not huge fans of the replicas either. Like, just
that's what somebody recommended the other day on Instagram. They're like, Jared should get a replica done of Temptation so that we both have them.
If I was gonna get one done, and it's not so I could like have him on my wall, but like just as for a story's sake, like that would be one to do. Yeah, because I did shoot that deer.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And honestly,
and it was part of the farm and like the history on that and stuff.
Well, and it's the perfect talking point for. I mean, it's like the pinnacle of what you and I talk about. It's just like and no shame to that guy. He did everything exactly right and legal, but it's like he got shot with a crossbow out of a blind over a corn pile.
Yep.
Well, and I mean,
hardcore to at 40 yards.
If that deer did actually score 196 inches, that's a 220, 230 next year.
Yeah,
literally.
Like an absolute freak.
Who scored? Did like an official score him?
Somebody from Buckscore.
Okay.
Buckmaster scored him. Yeah, sorry.
Buckmasters. Well, let's dive into that because I think it's good that we have the Ohio people around the table. Like, I mean, we're clearly still killing. I mean, there's a 200-inch deer on the table.
I want to ask you first. So you're pretty familiar with like what Kevin is doing with Hunter's Advocate. Are you thoughts? Like, are you
I think I'm like in total agreement.
You are in agreement,
as far as I know. Unless he's got.
It's okay if you're not.
Unless he's got some fringe theories I don't know about.
From what we talked about on the way here, it seems like we're. Pretty much aligned.
I mean, I already said on this podcast, like we've put out bait before.
Sure, so do we.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Currently, I've got like 15,000 pounds in my barn right now.
Yeah, like I talked to
just a little bit.
I talked to an Amish guy from down in our area the other day, and he's like, "It sounds dumb for me to say, but I put more corn out than anybody, but I want baiting to be banned. If we could turn Ohio into Iowa, that's essentially what I would like to see happen."
Well, the weird thing is like I'm sure all you guys are. What is it, like Ohio Big Bucks or Trophy Bucks of Ohio or whatever the Facebook group is? I'm like, every day there's a giant buck from a county being posted on there. There was one from Franklin County that just got posted, freaking monster.
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, okay, so they're here, all odds against them. Like long seasons, baiting, crossbows in the archery season, like all of these things against them, and like they're still here.
Yep.
And it's like, what could it be? And then like I try to put myself though in the position of like the average guy, and say, okay, well, like he wants to. First of all, he's lying if he says he just wants meat, because if he wants meat, he could go shoot does, and they're freaking everywhere.
And the big bucks have more meat on them, so
yeah, exactly. And then he just wants to kill a buck, right? Like that's the goal. So I'm trying to put myself in the position there of like, you know, what is the outcome for somebody like him if baiting is taken away? I'll say, and I don't think you guys have brought this up on the Hunter's Advocate side as much as I love them, I'm in favor of banning cell cameras. And the main reason being, if they're not going to ban corn, this is where it comes in tangent.
Yeah.
If they're not going to ban corn, then take away the ability for us to sit on our couch, wait for him to show up, or when I'm in the stand, I know that there's 2, 4-year-old 160s coming in, so I'm not going to shoot this first, whatever 5-year-old 120 that comes in.
That would eliminate a lot of corn piles.
I do think it may, and I do think it's a fair compromise. Like. Yep. It seems silly that we should have to do that.
It's a sacrifice on the people that are wanting banning baiting, right? Because like if we want baiting banned, we have properties we can manage, we can put food plots, whatever, right? That is an advantage to us than the average guy. But if you take away cell cameras, that hurts us just as much as it hurts them.
How do you take away cell cams though? Like just playing a devil's advocate here, like. Are you going to tell people they can't monitor their property then? Like
I think you have to.
Cameras?
Like people,
that's the challenge with that.
People will use that. I think the fact is like if you are showing that you're monitoring your driveway or whatever, that's great. But if it's sitting on a food plot or back by your tree stand, you're not monitoring your property.
Right. How are they doing that in states where they have banned it?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, they do it somewhere. You can come up with an argument like that for anything. I mean, you could say the same thing with. I hear guys say with the baiting, well, you can't tell me how to hunt on my own property.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they can.
Because it's affecting the public resource.
You're not allowed to shoot them at night.
That's right.
Exactly.
And you're not allowed to shoot more than a handful.
You can only shoot so many of them.
So there's regulation. Can I ask you, like, just Kevin, your observation, like, as you're talking, because obviously there are some giant deer coming out of Ohio. Like, nobody's disputing that. Do you know, like, are there more of them? Under what circumstances is that happening? Because at the same time, like, there seems to be a general dissatisfaction with how people's hunting experience is going. So the two almost seem at odds a little bit, don't they?
Well, so I had on the number side of it, I had looked at, and it's so hard because obviously like the record books are there's a limited number of people actually entering the deer they kill. But if you look at the deer being entered from, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like from 2000 to 2010 to 2011 to current. Basically, we're pretty much staying the same. on big deer killed. I think we hear about it a lot more now with social media and everything.
Does that include Buck Masters? Are those public? Is that a public database?
That was just
it's a public database.
Okay, so anybody gets their buck scored by Buck Masters, like that.
You don't have to enter it, but you can enter it.
But you can access and look.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
They encourage you to enter.
I guess I'm just getting at, do we feel like we have a fairly accurate trend or
I mean, it would seem like and I don't know, at least historically, it seems like the Ohio Big Buck Club, is that what it was?
Buckeye Big Bucks.
Buckeye, it had the probably best representation.
And I went through all their records. I literally spent hours going through their records from 2000 to 2010 and then 2011 to current. And pretty much every year we're averaging the same amount of booner class deer.
Okay.
And to me that just blows me away. I mean, look at what we're baiting. Box blinds, cell cameras, crossbows. I mean, even
straight well cartridges.
Yeah, just when I was a kid, I mean, our during gun season, our max range was like 100 yards.
Yeah, we're using like shotgun.
Now, I mean, there's guys literally doing that with crossbows, close to 100 yards.
Oh yeah,
I've heard of 100-yard shots.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
I mean, guys are getting custom muzzle loaders that are shoot 600-700 yards.
Yeah. And the technology has gotten so much better, yet we're not killing more big deer.
Right.
Was that Ritz that killed one at like 90, 100 yards? And I was like, just to clarify, you mean with crossbow? He's like, yeah, with crossbow.
Yeah.
10 so guys are definitely killing them that far.
Yeah. And I think like we should be with the technology. If there was more big deer out there, we'd be killing them. I mean, they're dying.
Because we know about them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not hiding under rocks. Like we know they're out there.
Oh, so
there
that's
was a lot
think.
more.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, we just weren't killing all of them.
We didn't have the
we're
tools.
just killing all of them.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So there probably is less now than there were.
Right.
And we're more efficient at killing them.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
And I think a lot of times what happens too is the biggest thing. One of the biggest things is access. Zac and I were talking on the way here this morning, and I just talked to a guy the other day who this is one of the first years he's not hunting because he lost all access over the last 5 years. He lost access to everything, and we're not losing hunters because it's too hard. We're losing hunters because it's too hard to get access.
That's exactly what it is.
And it feels like that's something that
that's part of my compromise of the okay. If you're not going to ban baiting, if you truly think like we can't get rid of baiting for reasons that we're going to lose more hunters, which I think is bullshit, or we can't kill as many deer, I also think is bullshit. If you take away cell cameras, you can't monitor nearly the amount of ground, and that will open up access for sure.
It's absolutely going to lead to less deer being. I mean, dude, look at this one. You know what I mean? The reason you went and sat there was because you got a picture the day before or whatever. Dude. Like if I'm honest, like 9 out of the 10 last deer that I've shot have all been probably standing in front of cell cameras when I shot them.
Sure.
They freaking kill deer.
They kill deer.
100%.
No doubt.
And they lock down access because I can keep leasing property and just monitor it. And when a big one shows up, I go and hunt it or I put somebody on it. And if I don't hunt it, I don't hunt it, but I'm at least monitoring it at all times. Without that capability, even with SD cameras, like you don't have that real-time info.
No.
I physically have to go out there, check the card.
Oh, I remember,
guys aren't going to do it.
I remember all the time with the SD card cameras, you go check them and you're like, oh, he daylighted 3 days in a row. I could have
too late.
I would known, but you're late.
You're late.
Real quick, back to the trend that you're noticing there. So like from, call it 2010 to 2020 or even further back, you're seeing essentially the same number of trophies being harvested or high scoring deer.
Yeah. Gross booners, yeah.
Despite, all these new technologies or changes that have happened since then. Do you think that trend eventually is that
can't be sustainable?
Is that sustainable?
No.
Like, because if there's only so many and we're killing all of them, like that eventually should start to drop off.
Every year, actually at the Whitetail Heritage event, Mike Tonkovich talked about this. But every year we're breaking buck harvest records.
Yeah,
and at some point you can't keep breaking those records because you're going to kill them all.
In terms of
numbers. But with those numbers, I mean, it's the same thing as
we are breaking records.
Yes, with buck harvest numbers.
Okay.
We're shooting more bucks than we ever have. They're a larger percentage.
Not trophy
of
bucks necessarily, just number of bucks.
That's because that's what people want to kill.
Yeah,
they want to kill a buck.
Yeah, guys are not, and that's why we have a doe problem.
Yeah.
They're struggling to manage the resource
There's no incentive.
There's no incentive to kill does, and it's making us so selective with the cell cameras and the corn piles, and the ease of it makes us think that, well, we can shoot a doe whenever, and guys simply aren't getting.
I know if I know a buck's coming to a corn pile all the time, I'm not going to go out there and shoot the first doe.
Exactly.
I see.
Right.
I'm gonna wait for the buck, and then once I shoot him, I'm done. I'm not going out. That's the mindset of guys.
And the non-residents coming in.
Absolutely,
they're coming in to shoot a buck, which I don't blame them, but we got to do something about the non-residents a little bit. At least.
Completely agree. Like if I didn't own property in Ohio, I wouldn't come in and shoot does.
Yeah.
There's no reason to.
I'd come in and kill my buck, and I'd be gone.
If you look at the surrounding states, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York, Michigan, they all have tons of deer.
Yep.
They just don't have big deer.
Correct.
That's why guys are coming here.
Yeah. No, for sure. Well, in a state like Pennsylvania, like heritage-wise, and we have a much lower number of non-resident hunters in here, much higher resident, but we kill more does than bucks every year. Have for 25 plus years. Like we're just because that's the heritage and tradition we have. It's like, you're going to kill a doe and put meat in the freezer, then you focus on a buck.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't be like, I have cell cams, but I don't have bait piles and stuff.
Right.
So I can't be as selective. I don't know that buck is coming in every day, right? Yep. I might see him, but if I'm in the tree stand and a doe comes through, if I want meat, I better kill it because I don't know that buck's coming in. Right. There's no guarantee.
Yep. Well, and the other thing is when you have the corn pile, it adds that element of like, this is where guys hunt.
Absolutely.
They hunt on that corn pile. This is where they get the picture. This is where they hunt, and they're not going to shoot that doe right there where they hunt. And
are there any states that allow baiting that don't allow cell cameras?
I don't think so.
Not in whitetail states.
No, I mean
there would be no way to. The
only camera bans that we're seeing are like Arizona, Western stuff, Montana. Yep. And then, you've got the public ban in Kansas, which is a bait state, but you can't bait on public. So that's just essentially wiped out. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like in a few years. But per what we've seen is that change has forced more non-residents to lease land in Kansas. Yep. So now all the residents are hunting public, and
which change is that?
That you can't put cameras and stuff on public.
Has caused what?
Has caused a lot more non-residents to lease private land because they can't go and put a camera up on public in October and then come back in November.
Maybe it is. I don't know that they need that addition. I think they were leasing the ground to begin with because private's better.
Yeah, but it definitely is a factor.
It may have. Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, just in the last few years when we left our area of southeast Kansas, it was like all of a sudden all these non-residents or all these residents are hunting public, and we're like, where'd they all come from?
Right.
We never saw a resident hunt public ground.
And I think that's happening a lot in Ohio with the baiting.
Yep.
Makes it so easy for a non-resident to find a lease, throw corn out, or have the farmer throw corn out a week before they get there.
Absolutely.
And they're hunting. They don't have to scout. They don't have to prep anything. You just show up and hunt. Whereas they can't do that on the public. And that we're seeing a similar thing where it's displacing residents off of private onto public.
And if I'm a resident that's hunting public, I'm for banning baiting, right?
100%.
Because I'm hunting public, I can't bait, but all of the deer are stacking up on these private pieces adjacent.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, I would be for it to balance the field.
What's your guys' view on outfitters?
That's a whole nother problem.
I feel like in our area, like there's
Coshocton
pretty
gets
bad,
pounded.
Yeah.
And that's something where it doesn't make any sense.
They're leasing up ground like crazy.
Yeah, well, there's your big one. Like I've got one around me, and he's a good dude, and we talk all the time. But he's got almost 5,000 acres now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
That's a lot of ground.
And there's not a whole lot of deer being shot.
Yeah, they're just
or does being
bucks.
shot. It's just bucks.
Yeah. Nobody's shooting does.
No.
Yep.
Well, and here's the bad part down there, and I've seen it not just from him, but from a lot of the southeast Ohio. I'm like, okay, well, we just got smoked by EHD. Like either success rates are going to go down, or like they're going to figure. Nope, they're just killing 2 and 3 year olds now.
Yeah.
So instead of killing 3, 4, and 5 year olds, now it's 2 and 3 year olds. Like they're not going to stop the success. They're just going to kill whatever's left.
And it's the best 2 and 3 year olds.
Absolutely.
It's always the best.
I can show you pictures right now. I'm like, you guys never killed these deer. Well, that's all that's left.
Some guys are so terrified of, I got to kill a buck.
Well, I can't blame the hunter, right? If I'm coming from Georgia and I paid $5,000 to come hunt, like I don't want to leave without a deer. And 125-inch 3-year-old might be a big buck for me.
Yep.
But from the outfitter side, like to what we just talked about, that can't sustain itself.
Nope.
I think the non-resident thing, like if we had a draw or at least increase tag prices, like that would.
Well, we did do that.
That would do.
Yeah, it's $400 now.
It should be more,
Yeah.
I think, but that would get rid of a lot of outfitters too. Because if you limit the number of non-residents, I feel like it's mostly non-residents that are paying for.
I personally,
I wonder, can they tell? Like, so they did a license increase this year from
it just started like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
October 1st.
If you bought your license prior to October 1st, it was still last year's prices.
Yeah.
I wonder if from that they can tell how that changes the non-resident.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
they'll look at the numbers.
Who doesn't buy the licenses because of it? Not just total numbers, but who does that cut out?
Like demographically.
Yeah, unfortunately, and it's not like I'm taking a large sample. The only person I've heard that didn't buy a tag for that reason that had previously was like a teenage kid because he's just like, I don't have that much money.
I think
everybody that's hunting with the outfitters.
They're buying
and his leasing ground and stuff. Who cares?
It's got to go to draw, in my opinion.
The DNR, they told us they expect or they anticipate a 10% decrease in non-resident license sales.
I think
for 1 year, and then they expect it to be right back.
I think you'll see that decrease, but I don't think it'll be because of the cost. It'll be because Pennsylvania granted Sunday hunting.
Yeah, I don't see it.
They won't
10%. I don't see it.
You won't get nearly as many guys leaving Pennsylvania.
You'll know. I mean, that's a hard number that they'll 100%. Find out. Here's what I've told Kevin on the non-resident thing. Like, I agree that, like, if it is a part of the problem, it should be addressed, and residents should be prioritized, above non-residents. However, I think Ohio and a lot of other states have some pretty big issues that need to be fixed first.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I would rather not, and it's, it's like, of course, I'm saying this as a non-resident of Ohio.
I'm not even saying it needs to be like, only 10% of applicants get drawn. Like, it can still be like a high draw success rate or whatever. But
I do agree with you.
Well, so yeah, what I'm saying is, like, before you take access away from anybody, residents, non-residents, in any state, doesn't it seem like we should all just put more of a quality resource on the landscape first for everybody that's there?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing you got to fix is access, period.
Right.
Yeah. And non-residents are a huge factor in access, but it's because of the technology the state allows them.
That's true.
100%.
Well, but you're not wrong though. If there was a way to say, hey, what's the fastest way to reduce, access issues, like directly, you could literally say to people, you can't hunt, or so maybe a lottery system is the fastest way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys both own land in Ohio?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't personally. My parents own land there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would still be landowners though.
Yeah.
No. I would.
Yeah. You'd.
So how does that work as a non?
You would because of your dad.
Yeah.
It's within the family.
It doesn't qualify me. Like, so I still have to buy a license.
Really?
Yeah. Because
I wasn't sure how
I think it's
works.
because I live out of state.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that might be.
Okay.
So.
And I have to buy a license because it's not a reciprocal with Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And you would still be, so they would, if Ohio did some sort of a draw system for non-residents, they would have to differentiate if it's for landowners or not, which doesn't exist right now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, in my opinion, landowners should not have to.
Sure.
You think so?
In my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, like,
to some degree.
Kansas is that way.
It would drive prices up for land.
Iowa is not. So what it does, all of these things have a big financial impact.
100%.
So it's not it doesn't just mean that people can't do it anymore. It just means that the people with money can, and the ones that don't can't.
Let me ask you this as residents of Ohio, and I've got my own opinion on it. Currently, a resident landowner of a certain size doesn't have to buy a tag. You think that's right?
Like, if it's more than so many acres,
I don't know what it is right now.
If you're hunting deer on your own land, you don't need to buy a tag.
Okay.
So I'll let you go first. How do you feel about that?
So you still have to buy a license, I assume.
No
license, no tag.
Nothing. You have to tag the deer.
So how do you check it in though?
Landowner.
There's a landowner check-in
button
Gotcha.
online, or you can. Yeah.
Okay. I hadn't really thought about it. I don't know.
I think it's a horrible idea personally. And I think a lot of landowners, when we talk about this stuff, like, everybody's like, we'll pay, like, we're happy to pay, but the state
really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's the general consensus.
These guys are like, dude,
our guys will if it gets them changed, but most people are like,
right.
I think it's setting them up. I think it's setting the resident landowners up for failure because, to your point, 70% of the bill is footed by non-residents because resident landowners don't have to buy tags. Even if they had to buy a $20 license,
And
all of a sudden the tide would switch really hard, and maybe it's only 30% funded by non-residents. Then you've got an opportunity there.
Yeah, and that's why
it's all money.
The state sees that they have to do license and permit increases and lead up to it before they do a lottery system, because they're going to lose so much revenue if they don't do that. So that's, they have to.
I think there'll be people who just don't buy tags anyways. They do it in all these states. We're so anti-government, over the last 10 years that there's probably at least 40% more people hunting that just don't buy a license and they just hunt. Oh yeah.
I don't think it's 40%.
I bet it is.
That's high.
40%? Yeah, they just don't buy a license. No need.
That's a lot of people.
I know. That's why I think every property is hunting.
What evidence do you have to support that?
I mean, I would just look around and ask people. There's a lot of people that just don't buy a license because they're like, I don't need them.
Do you think they are like landowner checking deer or just not checking deer?
They're not checking deer at all. That's why it's all based on calculations.
That's a huge, 40% is a huge number.
Every property in whitetail country is hunted.
Yep.
But we have less hunters than we've ever had.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I think you have more acres per person than you've ever had.
That's your cell cam argument.
Your cell cam corn pile argument right there.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, even growing up as a kid, every property we hunted was with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I definitely agree with that observation. I think that, we have fewer hunters. That's where we kind of started like years ago. We're like, what is happening here? How can they tell us that there's less hunters than ever before? But it feels like it's more overpopulated than ever before. And what we've landed on is it's all the things that allow us as hunters, bow hunters, crossbow hunters, hunters, period, to occupy space and time in the deer woods.
Yep.
And at the root of it, we feel is technology. It's things that allow us to maps, online maps to be able to map out entire areas. It's cell cameras that allow us to control and monitor large areas. It's things like corn piles that allow us to like inventory and take advantage of the resource on an even smaller piece of property.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, cameras would fix the majority of our issues. Although I would love ban baiting as well, because I just think that doesn't need to be there. It didn't, even though it was legal in Ohio in the 80s, nobody did it.
Yeah,
because they didn't need it. Didn't need to do it.
I bet if you got rid of cell cameras now, like rip the Band-Aid off, that'd be the first big decline spike in your trophy harvest numbers that you've seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
It would
not because they're not there though.
Right. Exactly. It would go way down, and then over the next couple of years it would start to climb again.
Yep. And
also, what would happen? Your doe numbers would go up from killing.
I agree.
Absolutely.
To the access issue, I think one of the biggest things also is crossbows, and I don't think it'll ever be touched.
What?
But think about like I had access to so many properties that I could bow hunt but not gun hunt.
Yep.
That's gone.
They're
bow hunters now.
That's not necessarily because of, in Ohio at least, because of legalization, because they've always been legal. It's the technology advancements of it. See, here in Pennsylvania, we just legalized crossbows like 10 or 12 years ago. I just got into a big argument with guys because they're like, our opening day of gun season used to be the Monday after Thanksgiving, same like Ohio, right? Tradition. So they went to deer camp or whatever, and then you started hunting on Monday. Well, they moved it to Saturday, and then they opened Sunday. So now you have the weekend and stuff, which, whatever, you can argue either way. The problem is they're like, look at the tradition that this has killed. There's nobody in the woods. Nobody wants to go out. Like, they killed this tradition because, like, nobody wants to go to camp. It's not that. It's that all of those guys just hunt all of archery season with crossbows. Yep. Mm-hmm. They get their fill, and they just don't go gun hunting anymore. Before, that was the first day they could hunt deer, period.
This is interesting, just because we've said that so many times, it's always been legal. I thought it was worth clarifying here. This says in 1976, this is in Ohio, crossbows were first legalized in Ohio, but only for use during the statewide black powder rifle season.
So like a primitive weapon.
1976.
Okay.
The following year, 1977, a separate 10-day crossbow season was established.
Which I'm in favor of.
Okay. And then a few years later, in 1984, following increased demand and a larger deer herd.
Who the hell was demanding it?
Increased demand. Yeah. And a larger deer herd. The ODNR began allowing crossbows throughout the entire 4 months.
So there was your first opportunity move of like, okay, we've got too many deers. What can we give opportunity-wise to kill more of them? And my guess is that it probably did it for a year or two, and then it didn't work, and then they did something else.
Yep.
change the season, opened up more season, added more season.
And also, as far as the access goes, like there's less and less land every year. Like it's
absolutely
getting sold and turned into developments.
And that's what I'm saying. So you just have to figure out like non-residents leasing stuff issue. On the outfitter thing, I 100% believe the outfitters should have to buy a permit from the state. That is a substantial cost because they're monetizing off of a natural resource that the people own. Well, in this case, the people of Ohio own. Right. So they're monetizing off of that. They don't pay anything. There's no outfitter fees. There's no registration.
Right.
They should have to buy a permit, be approved by the DNR. That should be substantial. I don't care if it's $50,000. And then, you know what? You would knock a whole lot of them back.
I agree.
Anybody can outfit. I could outfit on my 200 acres in Ohio if I wanted to.
Joe Schmo can just say, I know people that like they have an Airbnb and then
absolutely
they say in the Airbnb listing for X amount you can hunt here too.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, these days are open during the season.
Yep.
I do that. I've got a little cinder block deer camp. I could say, hey, cool, 5 days, $5,000. You can go hunt this 230 acres. Here's all the bucks on it. Go knock yourself out.
Yep.
And people will pay it.
Yeah. Oh, 100% they do.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
It's crazy. So like you have to. And
what do you think about that?
I think that they need to have a registration system and have to buy a guide permit basically that costs substantial amount of money.
Well, but in your case, that's not going to prevent it because that's just a lease.
Right? No, not if I'm doing it in that case. Like if that would be in an outfit setting, you'd have to define it in law.
So how do you mean? So like what you're talking about?
If I was having somebody come in. And pay $5,000 stay at my place and then hunt that property for a week. That's essentially an outfit, right?
I would say it's a lease.
What's the difference between that and an outfit then?
An outfitter, maybe, I don't know, the level of input from guiding.
I mean, if I'm monetizing off of you're not paying $5,000 to stay in my cinder block deer camp, right?
Yeah, they're not paying the landowner. They're paying somebody else who leases the farm.
Yeah. So is that where you draw the line?
I think that's
somebody else.
Yeah, because you should be able to monetize your own property. I'm not going to stand in the way of that.
So like what you just said.
Yeah, I could do that, and it wouldn't be technically that would be a lease.
That's a lease.
Well, even if I was outfitting it myself, like I don't think that's a problem. Whether you call it a lease or an outfit.
Okay.
But if you go and you're doing that on other people's properties that you don't own, even if you pay to lease them. I think at that point you have to fall under it.
Yeah, that is maybe a fair place to draw the line
because you can't.
That would limit it for sure.
Nobody's.
And it's not that you can't do it. Are we saying you're opposed outfitters? Period. Or
no. I think outfitters are great.
There should just be a threshold, They
should have to pay a permit fee to the DNR. That's like a substantial $20,000, $50,000. I don't know, whatever they think that should be.
Somebody I was talking to suggested that if that were to happen, they would their license fee or registration fee would be based off of their acreage. So if they're leasing,
I think that's
1,000
great.
acres, they pay per acre because they are taking that away from.
I'd like to hear from an outfitter's perspective why. I mean, obviously they're not going to want. Imposition like that.
The other thing
they might, the legit ones might, because it'll get rid of all their competition.
They may.
I think the other thing would be I'm not saying all of them, but there are definitely a lot. Is I would have to have some sort of fee tied to the number of hunters you're running through.
Yep.
Because if you're going to run through 100 hunters on 1,000 acres, that resource can't sustain that.
Yep.
Can't sustain it.
I think I like that better than on a per acre basis.
So and I mean that's the name of the game, right? You got to get as many hunters in a short window to make as much money as possible. Well, the natural resource can't sustain that. The HUNTR Podcast is brought to you by Beast Broadhead.
Dude, Beast Broadheads. Man, we've been advocating for and shooting expandable, especially big expandable broadheads for years and years now. And it just seems like they just keep making them better and better. And ultimately, with the relationship we've forged with the Bowmars this past year, we're just super excited to be shooting the Beast broadheads this year.
I mean, this broadhead it's the world's sharpest expandable broadhead out there. It has best penetration, and it's got bone avoiding technology. Ultimately, we want to create the most trauma possible on a deer when we release an arrow. The Beast Broadhead does that for us every time.
So right now you can use code HUNTR, HUNTR, for a discount on anything on the Beast website. So definitely go check out beastbroadheads.com. I'm not sure how I feel about like outfitter. Like I literally am not sure what my opinion is. Like we're hunting with an outfitter in Kansas this year.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is that, we've hunted Kansas in the past on public land and leases, and we've seen increased pressure and reduced quality of the deer that are there. Enough so that we're like, we need to find a new area. So in that process, we linked up with an outfitter who has access to ground. He leases ground. And he's local, which we're not. He has the ability to help, if you're going to call it manage some of these farms, but he's feeding them. He's he's running cameras. He's putting food plots and stuff on some of them. And so that's a big benefit to us, mainly for access to property. And really, I think what drives it home for us is we're taking our dads and my uncle who need help.
Right.
More than we can give them. Or
I was going to say, typically they get our help, and then that, we don't enjoy our time.
Well, we enjoy it. It's just, but hey, we would like to be able to do what we want to do in Kansas, and we
want us all to have a successful hunting trip and have fun,
right?
And not be as concerned with like, well, are we getting them? Did they get out okay?
Yeah.
Did we have to go get them?
Yeah. So the outfitter is awesome. It's a huge help for us to be able to get access to properties we want to access, and to help the dads with that situation.
What is Kansas's process for outfitters?
I don't think there is one.
Nope. I don't think most states have one. I mean, given the out west ones that are hunting public have to buy
I think Illinois
a license tag.
I think Illinois has a process, but
do they?
I might be wrong on that. I'm not sure.
So in that sense, I'm in favor of that. For us, is that guy leasing properties out from other locals and stuff and displacing them?
For sure.
Maybe. I don't know.
I would bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely is.
And in that sense, I'm like, I don't know. Is that bad?
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be able to, but there should be something coming back. So when we buy a hunting license, that money goes back to conservation, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they outfit and they take our money and they put us on deer and we kill deer, there's no money going back to conservation.
Yeah, but who's to say they're not putting it back into those properties? I'm with you. They probably are not.
And corn piles and cell cameras.
Sure. Which is what we're doing at a personal level anyways. Like, but I guess we're not making money off of it.
We're not making money off of it.
So maybe it should.
When we talk about things like the commercialization of wildlife is illegal in this country, that is it. I don't know how we just continue to overlook it. It's like, I'm not paying you in a lease case. Mm-hmm. Your property isn't worth shit if there's no deer on there. Why would I pay you $3,000 to hunt a wide open field? So
there you go. There would be a similar situation. If somebody gets paid money for a lease, should a portion of it have to be taxed for conservation?
Probably. Because what are you paying for? Are you paying to just stand out in the middle of the field?
And at a high level, I don't know that I'm in favor of giving the state money for any. I just don't think it's...
I know where you're coming from. Like the government...
I get it.
I don't want to give the government money.
I get that.
By any means, but...
Yeah, it's just a waste of money.
But they're the regulatory authority.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they're the only ones that can control it from the top down. Otherwise, where are you going to put it in? You're going to rely on the landowner to invest it?
If they would make some of the changes that we're requesting be made, I would be in favor of that funding.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Right.
But they're not making the simple decisions, so I wouldn't give them any more money.
Has to go somewhere.
To the individual.
But they're not going to do anything with it besides nothing benefiting the wildlife. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to lease an open field if there's no game on it. It's worthless to you. Just
because the deer are a state-owned resource.
Exactly. So the only reason you're paying is because there are deer on there, which are a state-owned resource. Mm-hmm. So if I pay that money to access the property, I'm paying to access it because of the wildlife that's on there. They don't own that.
Okay.
The landowner doesn't own those wildlife.
Right.
So they're receiving money on a state-owned resource. Can't happen. That's illegal.
Well,
it is happening. I know, because the loophole is basically I want
to make sure we're teasing apart. I do think there's a pretty big difference between outfitters leasing on other people's property and individuals receiving payment for leasing their property.
How? Why would you lease somebody's property if there's no deer on it?
Well, you're leasing it for a lot of the same reasons. I mean, maybe at a slightly different scale, but an outfitter's sole purpose is to profit off of those resources.
So is the landowner.
Yeah, but you even said that it's fine if you own the property. That's
mainly because of the landowner rights stuff. Like, I can't overstep that bounds too much because then it gets dicey.
Okay. So then we're talking only about outfitters doing this.
I don't know.
In which case, I feel like I'm more like, okay, maybe that does make sense. But then you end up.
There's a lot of outfitters that own a lot of land too. That they buy up land. They don't just lease it.
Well, so what do you say to them? Like,
there's still
it's a capitalism thing. So it's like, are we anti-capitalism?
Yes, in terms of the public resource, you cannot capitalize on a public resource. You're not paying.
I would way rather see the limitations be put in like what these guys are talking about.
100%.
I think that from a grassroots level, that is going to have a better impact.
I know it will.
Than just taking money off the top.
Completely agree. But there are other things that are hanging there that could still have an effect, right? So like, let's just say they take away baiting,
okay,
whatever, but they keep cell cams.
Okay,
outfitters are still going to lease 10,000 acres.
Yeah.
It's not going to change a damn thing.
I agree.
I think that.
I agree.
No. I think there should be a draw system for non-residents, in my opinion. Like, I think
that would
help
lower,
with the outfitter thing too.
Oh, for sure.
It would. I think that the hard parts that you'll find there is like, it's still like the residents are still choking out other residents.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah,
too,
that's where the cell
especially if you think that you should be able to own land and still hunt it.
Then they're really going to choke you out.
Then they're gonna buy it.
They'll buy it all.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it's not fine. You don't want that.
No.
So
no.
In that case, I really do think, and again,
but they'll be buying it from the residents.
I'm making this argument as a non-resident, so I realize like how it sounds. I really think that you guys need to fix, not you guys, but like every state needs to fix those issues before they consider. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like you have issues tiered like this, and in my opinion, non-residents is like third or fourth, depending on the.
I would agree.
Depending on the state.
Here's
so
the biggest
logical approach to fixing those would be to fix 1 and 2 before you, because this one hurts. This one hurts a lot of people.
Sure, the non-resident.
These ones don't hurt anybody.
They think it does,
but it doesn't.
Well, and so the biggest thing with the non-resident is that the state of Ohio does not want to lose a single hunter, resident or non-resident, because of money coming in from licenses and because of the opportunity to kill deer, period.
Yep.
The reality is, though, in the meantime,
I get the feeling on that, right? But that is their mindset. That's why they won't ban baiting, is because they're like, if we ban baiting, we will lose hunters, we'll kill less deer, we fail.
That's the conundrum, or if you will, of like the whole situation with Ohio is like, I think Kevin and I, and maybe all 4 of us, feel that literally the things that they are keeping in place to prop up license sales and their doe hunters, I think, are literally having the opposite. It's the reason it's going the opposite direction.
It cheapens the experience, like
for sure.
It cheapens the experience, and it eliminates people's access to be able to partake in that. Yep. So, like, you would ask, Mike is the guy. So we would say, Mike, why won't you get rid of corn piles? And he'll say, well, because my 2 main priorities are I need to keep hunter numbers sustainable or increasing, and we need to manage the population better, shoot more does.
And that is the exact answer.
And literally, yep, and that's the answer.
That is the answer.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
And literally, we feel that corn piles, and maybe in some combination with these other things, are causing guys to lock up access and not let other people hunt it, a.k.a. they can't shoot these does.
Particularly with cell cameras.
They can't get access to them. And the more they have to compete with these technologies in mind, the more properties they're going to buy. So people just don't have places to go. So they quit hunting.
Yep. Absolutely.
So literally the thing they think is like keeping the state where it needs to be is the thing that's killing it.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
And the problem is the response is more and more opportunity. Well, let's do this. Let's extend this. Let's do this. And it's like you need to take something away. You can't just keep adding and thinking. It's
that's happened in the meantime. Like they can't figure out that this is the problem, so they keep giving more opportunity, which is reducing incentive long term. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Opposite. We're just going the wrong direction. A lot of these mismanagement decisions are being made out of a lack of understanding of hunter dynamics and how we're going to use them.
Well, I see a lot of kids like, they grow up and all they know is hunting over a corn pile.
For sure.
And it's like,
I'm watching a cell cam.
Yeah, well, that's boring.
Dude.
Like, they're going to get old and they're going to
There's no woodsmanship.
Hunting is boring.
It's that bad. Hunting in Ohio sucks. Like yes, you can have an experience like this. It does exist. Like they're out there, but most people are just like going out and sitting there blind and sitting their corn pile and they don't like it either. It's not like I'm bashing them for that. Just that nobody likes doing it. Nobody's happy with the hunting experience in Ohio, myself included. I'm still going to go. I'm still going to do it. I'm not going to not hunt. You know, it's like, what's the alternative?
Right.
I go to Illinois and we buy a farm. You know what I mean? So we do that. But still, that's my home farm. And so it sucks because everybody's experiencing it. Everybody's like talking about it, but nobody's doing anything about it.
It's just weird. Like
we're trying.
I know, man. And it's, you know, it's not to pick on Mike at all, but, you know, he's the head of the commission. And it's like, what do you think it's going to hurt? Like, I can see the baiting thing just because it is so big. It is so prevalent. It is such a hot button topic. But, like, if you ban cell cameras, and let's say from an enforcement side, even only 50% of people are just like, hey, it's illegal, I won't use it. And the other 50% are like, screw you, I can do whatever I want, whatever. It will still make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
It will have a giant impact.
Big difference.
Giant impact across the board. Why not? Why not try to do something like that? Like, there's clearly a drone issue, too. Like, the fact that I can put a drone up, fly over, bring the drone back, set it down on the ground, and the moment it does, I can go hunt.
Do you know
that's unbelievable?
That's crazy.
I do think they're working on fixing that.
Yeah, they are. But it should have been, I mean, in my opinion, it should have been addressed
faster.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, why can't they be addressed faster?
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, we have people in place for that. The HD thing happened. They're making changes this year.
Exactly.
The drone thing came up. Here we are 3 or 4 years later.
Yeah, so it's just like they're dragging feet because everybody, and I get it. You're looking out for number one, right? Nobody wants to lose their job. And if you make the wrong call and something doesn't work out, you're going to get your head cut off. Yeah. Even if you make the right call, good chance you still get your head cut off because somebody else didn't like it.
Right.
But at some point, for the betterment of hunting in Ohio, somebody has to do it. And I basically called Mike out of like, dude, I know you don't want to, and I think that we all benefit from you being on the board, but you might be the guy that has to fall on the sword. And that sucks. But if you make the move and it does the right thing, you feel pretty good for the rest of your life that you did the right thing for the state.
Yep.
Even if nobody else appreciated it in the short term and people called you and said, "Man, you suck, whatever, screw you," and you're fired. But in the short term, there'll be other people that are like, "Damn, dude had balls and made a move."
Yeah. And
it will. I mean, it's not rocket science. We're all talking about it here. We know what the effect is of those things. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
What do you sense, Kevin? I mean, are you talking to legislators still? I know you talk to some people in the biology end of things and stuff. Are they in agreement or at least open to like this conversation?
You're talking legislators specifically or Division of Wildlife?
Anybody you guys are talking to that you think has an impact on that decision?
Yeah. I mean, the DNR, they straight up told us, like, we know we have a problem.
With what?
Baiting.
Why did they think that?
I mean, dude, they're giving out pamphlets on all the negatives of baiting and all the harm. It's literally, they have pamphlets.
Right, you told me. Yeah.
And they.
What do they think those are? What do they think are the negatives of baiting?
It's not good for the wildlife.
Yeah, disease. All the same shit.
We're as soon as season's over, we're pulling it. You know, all the different stuff.
But nothing pertaining to like what we're talking about in terms of access.
Well, because that won't register to people.
But
average guy.
Right. Makes sense that it's not.
But we had this conversation with them.
You did.
Sitting at a table with them, and they agreed. But I was told, they said basically that horse was let out of the stall a long time ago.
1984.
And now
that's crossbow.
And now it's like, how do we corral that horse back up without having a blow up, basically?
Okay. And a blow up to them means losing a lot of hunters.
Or
population getting way out of control.
And I think even just backlash from the public.
Okay. You're going to get that, though, either way.
They get that right now. They're getting that right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're giving them backlash as anti-baiting people.
Exactly. And then on the legislative side, honestly, we're making progress, but a lot of them are just clueless.
Yeah, they have no idea.
They don't even know if that baiting is legal in Ohio.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't even... I mean, that's the thing with most non-hunters, though. If you ask them and said, hey, do you think baiting for hunting is cheating, most of them would say yes, because that's just like, it's a negative thing.
Exactly.
But they're just completely clueless of how rooted it is.
The reality is, dude, most hunters would have said the same thing like 10 years ago.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, the society
somewhere over the last
changed.
5-10 years, we're just going to do what it takes to compete with our neighbors and kill big bucks.
Yep.
Yeah, we're soft.
But we're trying to to basically explain this to legislators, and you can't do it. There's way too many. You can't do it with everybody, but we have some good connections and have had some great conversations. Even just, I've noticed, like, we'll go down to support a bill or oppose a bill or whatever, and walking around the hallways, and our lobbyists they're very connected, and they do a great job with introducing us. Random legislator walking through, grabbing them, and a 10-minute conversation turns into a 30-minute conversation about this stuff, and that we can bait in Ohio and why it's a problem. And we've had some fantastic conversations with that stuff. The biggest thing is, like, in order to initiate a bill, you have to convince somebody that doesn't hunt that this is a huge issue. Like, this is a major problem that a lot of people are facing. And that's the hardest part, is, like, you have to, somebody that has zero stock in this, they don't hunt, they don't care.
Are there no legislators that are hunters?
There are a few. I actually have a picture in one of the legislators' office. He's got a nice 10-pointer mounted on his wall.
There's not a single one that's like a diehard hunter.
He doesn't really hunt anymore. He does a little bit, but he's more into turkey hunting.
That's actually surprising to me. How many legislators are there in the state of Ohio? A couple hundred?
Yeah. It's
a handful of them aren't. There's no, like, pretty big hunters.
There's a few hunters, but I have yet to meet a diehard hunter. Like, there's a few that basically they've hunted.
That lieutenant governor seemed not like a diehard.
John Husted was the vice governor.
Lieutenant governor.
He's having a governor. But he's in the Senate now.
Yeah. He took Vance's
role.
Yep.
He was a hunter. His office reached out to us. They wanted to do something. But,
oh, really?
But then he got promoted.
I remember. Yeah, you remember telling me that.
Missed opportunity.
We're still making some of those connections, and we're finding more and more that are like hunters, but a lot of them are not super into it. And honestly, the ones that aren't super into it, it's almost harder to convince them.
Yeah, because they're probably on bait.
Yeah,
and a box spot.
or they're like, well, like, everybody's doing it. What's the big deal? Like, it's not.
I feel like your angle.
Doesn't that sound dirty?
Everyone's
doing it.
Yeah, I feel like the angle
just
with
get on board, man.
With ag and insurance is unfortunately like almost the best way to go, because the overpopulation is affecting those guys more than it's affecting the hunters. Like, the hunters are fine with more deer, like, they don't care. But ag is not, and insurance is not, and those are technically our enemies, when you look at it. But if you're like,
we have a common enemy in this sense here. Corn piles are the reason we're not killing enough deer.
Killing does.
That's right.
That's the big one, is like, we're not killing does in tangent with cell cameras, like those things together. If we could kill more does, I think ag and insurance would be behind us on it.
100%.
And if there was a way to convince them that by having those things removed, they would get behind it. And so maybe that's the route to take, is it's not looking for the hunters, it's looking for the ag guys. And
we're working on some connections with the Farm Bureau, actually.
Yep.
And that they are very open.
They want them dead.
They're very open, and there's actually some pretty diehard deer hunters
on the Farm Bureau.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And they like. The one guy I had just talked to, he was a president of, I don't remember his chapter or something, but he was like all in. He's like, we're gonna make something happen. He's like, we're gonna work together on this, and that's really exciting, because they carry a big hammer. They are. That's
what I was gonna say, and they want to kill deer, and they need to kill, like you said, if the buck harvest keeps coming up, that's killing the wrong deer.
Exactly.
Yep. The doe harvest needs to keep going up. That's killing the right deer. That's the population control.
Yep.
And that's the miss that the DNR has right now, is it's like, what you have done has created a system where we kill more bucks because we're more efficient at it and we have more tools to do it.
Yep.
That's not the solution as wildlife managers. We need to kill more does, and there's just no incentive. Or, you go to earn a buck.
Yeah, which is tough.
Yeah, it's absolutely tough.
Because of especially with the online deer check stuff.
People just check it in, be like, I killed a doe.
Yeah.
I know, and not so like there are solutions.
Listen,
it's just like
tell them, because you have a better memory than I do. Tell them about the management in where Pedro's at.
So Pedro's in Spain. Yep. And
have you seen his channel? It's Pedro and
Impero.
He's hunted with Remy, they hunted some stuff together. He came over and hunted deer last year with Brian Call. And actually, what was super interesting was he hunted that massive outfit in eastern Ohio. That's like right on the
line.
Beaver Creek.
Oh, okay.
It's like Latitude Outfitters or something.
Like
who has the lease or whatever.
6,000 contiguous acres.
He killed a buck with them last year.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. He just tagged us in a post hunting stag, and he's got this thing. It's like,
yeah.
It's like
his podcast will drop this week. So, and that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's in Spain. So, first of all, the land around is owned by the town. So it's technically not public, but it's not private either. The town owns it. They then cut it up and lease it to hunters in the area. And some of them could be outfitters, and some of them could be this. And then there is a federal standpoint of like tag issuing for the town and for the area, but they have a basically a biologist in the town who goes to each of the properties that are leased and says, okay, you've got this many stag tags, you've got this many roe deer tags, you got this.
Interesting.
And when the season opens, you can use any weapon, and you just, you keep killing them until you fill your tags. And basically because of the way that the breeding and stuff is over there, they have like 365-day season essentially to do it. And so it's insane because like the town he said it's the largest amount of revenue for most of the towns where they're at in Spain is all of the hunting leases and the value coming in like that. He said, but it's unbelievable. He said, because two things. He's like, number one, we all understand management. So we'll go out and we're trying to kill the oldest animal that's out there. Like there could be a giant that's a 4-year-old, but we're trying to kill the old, rugged 10-year-old.
I see.
And that's the mindset there. The other mindset is they don't kill the does, they kill the fawns. So if there's a population issue that they need to reduce, instead of taking does out of the population, they just remove the fawns to get mouths off the ground going into winter. And then the does are already ready to breed at a healthier level the next year versus hoping that fawn is in better condition and stuff.
Interesting.
And
I was going to ask how it all works, with the management side of things.
It's nuts, dude. And I mean, they have an unbelievable system, and it's healthy populations and mature trophies. And yeah, it's freaking crazy.
What's that guy's name?
Pedro Amparo.
Okay.
Yeah, but really cool to see. But yeah, so when you look at that side of it, right, that's the European model basically for where they're at. But it's creating this this ecosystem that essentially you've got like, and most of the leases are, he said it, I think they're like at least 1,200 acres. I think is like the minimum size, but they get much bigger. But that's their situation of management. And he's like, everybody in the town hunts and they lease property, and they don't really have an access problem because like they can just hunt multiple people on properties. Like your family leases a spot basically, and like your whole family can go and hunt whatever, and you just communicate the tags and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And it's like, so they don't have an issue with access. They don't have an issue with quality of animals. They don't have a population issue. And they also have an insane culture and revenue stream for their town.
Wow.
And it's like...
Sounds like they got it figured out.
Well, and to your point about the state money, it's like, yeah, that I agree. Like, if I give it to the state, where the hell does it go? Like, the town is using that to continue to increase the quality of the experience in the area.
Well, the town in that case is actually doing something,
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. The only issue I see with it is way too much work for any state agency around here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's too big of a scope.
Yeah.
Too big of an area.
Yep. But that's how they do it, and that's how it works. And yeah, I mean, we've got too many. It's too fragmented with private land ownership and all of that stuff. Like, that ship has sailed long time ago. But I mean, if you bring it back to just the basics of it, is like, they have the ability to provide access to enough people to have a healthy population that's not overpopulated and have quality of animals on the landscape.
Yeah.
It is possible to do.
Oh, yeah.
What about baiting? Do they have baiting?
They have no baiting.
There is, in fairness, there's way fewer hunters over there compared on the landscape. So that is a different. They're different species too. So I mean, it's
how big is
not
Spain?
apples to apples.
How big is Spain? Like
size of Texas.
Is it that big?
Well, so Spain is the size of Texas, and
There's
they have
hunters.
1 million hunters. So it's not a small amount of hunters either. But you have 1 million hunters across the size of Texas.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
So I mean, that's still quite a bit of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well,
in
how many hunters does
comparison-
Texas have?
about 1 million.
Oh, really? It's about the same?
I would say so.
Hmm.
At least from like a big game side.
Hmm.
I would assume.
Yeah, because that
Million,
doesn't
million
seem
five,
that
maybe?
off. Because I mean, if you look at like Ohio, I mean, we're at
500,000.
yeah, just under. We're like in the 400,000.
Well, but
range.
Ohio is
a
fifth
fifth.
of the size of Texas.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So extrapolate that.
So
it's
you're double
at
the
least
density.
2.5 times.
Oh yeah,
the number of
that's
hunters.
true. That's true. Yeah,
There's your issue.
Yep.
That's where it goes down. So, yeah, I mean, the hardest part is like, it's the frustration of, and I don't blame them, but like the average hunter is not going to have the capabilities of understanding the intricacies of what works, what doesn't, and what the end goals are.
Yep.
So there have to be basically smarter people in the room on a specific topic to stand up and say, hey, you might not like this, but this is why we have to do it, and just give it some time. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't work, we'll go back.
Yep.
Right? That's the whole point of a 3-year trial or 5-year trial or whatever.
Exactly. But we have to be more willing to
Absolutely.
do the trial.
Yeah.
The trial has to happen without
exactly. Yeah, that's it, man. And it's tough, man. You know, I don't envy anybody in those positions, but like you're never going to make everybody happy. It's impossible. The question is, where's the line between keeping people engaged enough that they like hunting or love hunting enough that they're not going to quit, versus I think where we're heading now is we're heading into the ditch. People are quitting already. Access is getting harder and harder. Where we're going right now is not towards a fix. It's going towards a cliff.
Yep.
And then there'll be an interim fix because we'll have lost 200,000 hunters because they're just like, screw it. There's nowhere to go. It's cost too much, whatever.
Yep.
But at that point, you're in a major jam.
Yeah, you got a big problem.
Because you don't have enough people to kill the deer. Yep. So you got to fix it now. You got to make the change now.
Did they see that coming, do you think? Those same folks you're talking to? Or they just think, oh, we'll just keep limping along?
I don't think they see it coming on that to that extent. I think they see it I think they see it coming, but I think their solution is a lot different than our solution. Their solution is keep making it easier, and it's just going to continue that way.
Yeah, I mean, the next thing that you'll know is the season will open on September 27th, but you can use gun or bow or whatever the hell you want and just fill your tags.
Yeah.
That'll be the next, that's the next pathway.
Right. That's what's next. 100%. It's everybody gets the same amount of tags, so it doesn't matter what weapon you're using.
Doesn't matter as long as you kill them. Yeah, there will be no bow season.
That's wild.
Crossbows won't make a difference at that point.
It's wild, and it doesn't seem like reality, but it will be at some point if it doesn't turn around.
I agree.
I mean, dude, we got guys freaking like scouting with thermal drones.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's where we're at. Like, it sounds like it's commonplace almost in today's conversation, but it's like that's insane.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that guys are scouting with thermal drones and going and killing them.
What's your guys' opinion on, like, if you go in with a thermal drone, how long should you have to wait?
I think it should be 24 hours.
Yeah.
I think so.
I guess, yeah. It's got to be a number, I guess, so
Yeah,
I would
right.
agree with that.
I think 24 hours is an easy one for everybody to comprehend. No black and white type stuff.
You got to have a number.
Yep.
Yeah,
The way it is now
100%.
is not.
Well,
There is no number. Yeah, it's immediately.
And I mean, even if it's 12 hours or whatever, you fly the drone in the evening, and the next
Right.
morning you can go hunting. That's fine.
Yeah.
That deer is
But it's a number.
Could be a mile
I think
away.
Bomar made a lot of sense with the fact that those drone pilots should be registered with the state.
Yep.
When they put that drone up, they should put who they're flying for, hunter, your identification number. They should put the GPS location of where you're at, when it left the ground, and when it came back.
There should be a log for all that stuff.
And then when they go
listened to
back,
that. I couldn't agree
when
more.
they
That
go
was
back,
perfect.
they log it into their computer, and that's a legal flight. And if any questions come up, it's in the system.
Yep.
I think that, number one, you would suppress a lot of people from doing dirty shit. And number two is you'd have a really good accountability log.
Yeah. The biggest issue is still, your private landowner that has a thermal drone,
Mm-hmm.
and getting him to, basically.
Oh, dude,
all
I
of
get
those,
it. I've got a $12,000 thermal drone. I can't even fly it on my place in Pennsylvania. I can't put it up.
Really
It's illegal.
interesting.
Yep. Can't even take it off my porch.
You think they're going to change that at all?
Nope.
They're not going to budge on
it. So that's just like a total ban, like not even hunting wise. Like you can't have a thermal drone.
You can have it, but if you're going to hunt on that property at any point, it's illegal.
Okay.
You can't use it for recovery either, right?
Nope.
MPA.
See, it's kind of it's a hard thing because it's like I'm all for thermal drones for
Me too.
Recovery of a carcass.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
But I just can't.
Even if you find that alive, like Jared's, you find it alive, as long as there's a number in place.
Right.
But it's like, okay, I'm going to land this thing and you guys can't hunt this property for 12 hours or 24 hours or whatever it is.
Yep.
Then, and you sign a waiver, you do whatever it needs to be. Perfect. I think we're all, all it has to be is everybody agrees on something and we say, okay, that's it.
Yep.
It's not that hard.
I don't think anybody's like, oh, I should be able to fly my drone, see a deer, and go hunt it right away. I don't think anybody is for
Not
that.
from an ethical standpoint.
Right, but people are still going to do it. Like,
they are doing it. There's a lot of people doing it right now.
But if you'd ask them, like in a public setting, they'd be like, oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what baiting was 10 years ago. Everybody would be like, they were doing it, but nobody was like, well,
you guys were talking about
car.
Public in Indiana. I know in Ohio and Kentucky, and I want to say it was Indiana, I'm not positive, is people were flying thermal drones and pinning bucks and selling the pins.
No kidding.
That's wild.
Think about it. It's easy.
That's a new business strategy I didn't think of.
They're flying, pinning them, say, hey, yep, here's a, 4-year-old 140-inch buck, and they're selling the pins.
That's so crazy.
Could you do that on public land? I guess. Why not?
It's not restricted.
Yeah.
You're not technically guiding. It's crazy, man. Those are the loopholes that are like, they're not closed, and people will find advantages to take there. So yeah, you have to move faster.
Yeah.
In today's society, that's the one excuse we'll hear, whether it's from the Game Commission or DNR or whoever. Is they're like, well, things are just advancing so fast. And I'm like, ain't going to slow down, dude.
No, they're not.
You've got to get faster at it.
We're talking about moving faster. Isn't the government like shut down in the meantime?
Well,
they're not even working.
Yeah, they're not even working. Yeah.
I was going to bring up, something I was thinking about just recently after you brought up your local game warden had said something about thermal scopes on crossbows. Mm-hmm. Is it legal to hunt with them? Do you know that?
Yeah, it is. In a lot of states.
That in itself is wild.
Wait, what do you mean? What legal?
Having a thermal scope on a crossbow or gun is legal in most states.
That's crazy.
Having one
for deer hunting.
For deer hunting.
Yeah, you just have to use it during legal shooting hours.
Oh, interesting.
I'm pretty adamant right now that one of the top killers of trophy bucks is poaching. I think it's way worse than we could even imagine right now.
You think so?
With the technology, 100%. With crossbows and things like thermal.
Crossbows.
Oh my god, dude! They're smoking them.
Yeah, or a high-powered or a rifle with a suppressor on it.
Dude, they're smoking them right now. Yeah, a lot.
I don't think guys would get away if are you talking trophy bucks or just deer?
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking. Well, I mean,
look at
big
them
deer.
calling you on it too. I don't think so either. I think
you guys are on crack. You have no idea.
I think it happens.
You talk to a game warden.
I think it happens, but I don't know if it happens.
I just did.
And what did he say?
He said it happens.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
But not compared to like the general buck harvest.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm talking an extra 20 bucks being killed, like targeted. That's a lot in your area.
20 bucks in what scale?
Like in your area.
How big of an area?
Oh, what's your definition of poaching? Are you talking like people are like sitting out like 5 minutes later than they should?
No.
I'm
talking about like I'm going out at midnight. I'm cruising around on my 4-wheeler. I've got a thermal scope on a crossbow and I'm shooting them at 90 yards.
Well, let's guess. Let's give a reasonable geographical range.
Okay, let's say a square mile.
A square mile, and maybe the location is going to matter because it's definitely worse in some areas than others.
And we'll say like what the average deer population in a square mile is 50, 75?
Yeah. In Ohio, it's probably even higher.
I would say it's
100?
70 to 100.
Okay, so let's just say 70. 70 deer per square mile.
Okay.
35 of those are bucks, hypothetically.
Okay.
All right. How many of those do you think are getting poached?
Less than one.
Oh, you're way
Less
off.
than one? I'd say maybe 2.
I bet it's like 6 to 10.
I just don't think they'd get away with it.
6 to 10, a third of the bucks that are in a square mile are getting shot. No, dude, there's no way. What?
I don't see it.
Why? Why do you think that?
Just think about the number of deer that you don't see on camera ever again. Your neighbors are like, hey, I didn't kill it.
It's definitely not a third of them.
I bet it is. I bet it's high.
For me personally, it's not. Again, that's specific area.
Sure.
And it is happening. I mean, the warden said, guys will have poached
I told
deer.
you, they caught my neighbor in Ohio several years ago. He killed 125 in 3 years.
Well, and in your area specifically, and because of your experiences.
Okay, well, that's an outlier there, I would say.
But I think it's different in your area of southeastern Ohio than it is where we're at.
Yeah.
Because we're at, like, if somebody shoots a 160, people start asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like there's so many people that have pictures of all the deer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think they'd get away with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I can tell you some stories off air maybe about activities in our area that have went on. I bet it's high though.
And some areas definitely higher than others.
Yeah, for sure. I know that. But I would assume it's still, like, even if it's 4 or 5, very possible. Just think of the number of hunters are out there.
And I think that I mean, there's more deterrent than there probably ever has been. There's also increasing technology. So
from a camera standpoint?
From a camera standpoint, big part of it.
Yep.
Big part of it, especially from a trespassing standpoint.
I don't think there's enough people out there that would be willing to poach deer.
Well, you're giving them too much credit.
Why not? What do you mean?
Like, I just think people aren't, like, willing to take that risk, or, like, even just like ethically, they wouldn't even cross their mind.
See, I'm not as sold on that. I think guys will.
It is probably very area specific,
and it's not even maliciously. I mean, it is malicious, but, like, I think people just don't take.
They don't value it
deer
as anything.
Serious.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, they shoot a big buck and they're like, yeah, killed a deer.
Yeah, that's so wild though to think that many people. I mean, that's
most people for sure. Most people don't think about them the way we think about them. That's definitely true.
I feel like there's also probably some outliers where those guys are doing most of the damage.
Right.
Like per area.
Well, I mean, some of those guys, I mean, they talk to him. It's like, and I talked to my warden about it. He's like, it's an addiction. He's like, their high is just killing a big buck, and they just keep doing it over and over again. And it's like the hardest part is, like, the consequences aren't anything. Like, it's okay, you're gonna lose your license. Well, you're poaching anyway.
You're right.
So what does that matter?
It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, there is no stop on it. Like, it ends up if they commit some other felony. That's basically how you get them off the street.
Have there been any? I know there's that Charles Beatty dude.
Yep.
But in terms of, like, what's the word? Not experience, but just, like, prominent poacher people who have done a lot of poaching, who have come out, like, that's in the past, like, they've come out about that, or are there any of those guys out there? Is Charles' story roughly is that kind of what it is?
Mm-hmm. He was always trespassing. He wasn't
on shooting
the King
him at night. He was trespassing.
He was trespassing on the King
and
Ranch.
Hunting. Yeah, essentially, like, ethically hunting, but just he was trespassing and doing it.
Yeah, which, I mean, still poaching, but
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like, versus the guy down by me was basically, he would just putt around on his 4-wheeler and spotlight him and shoot him.
And none of those guys have ever, like, recovered or come out as been, like, recovered poacher.
No, his kids are down doing it.
I listened to a couple podcasts. I'm trying to remember what it was, but there was a guy in southeastern Ohio that it was, like, one of the biggest poaching busts.
It's probably this one. He wrote a book about it.
I might have been.
Mm-hmm.
The poacher himself wrote a book about it?
No, the warden, my neighbor.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
But
he's retired now. But
interesting.
This was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. In the 90s.
Yeah, he was, like, undercover and stuff, and, like, it's probably the same guy.
Yep.
But that they later did a podcast.
We can get this freaking guy on, man.
He might. I'm gonna just have to let him turkey out my property. That's, like, all he cares about now.
Done.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be cool.
Yeah,
he had an awesome story. I mean, the stuff he did to, like, get in close with this guy and like go. It was crazy.
And the crazy thing is,
the guy's still doing it, still poaching.
They live 4 miles apart.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'm in between them.
Unreal.
Yeah. And so I don't know if he does, like, the old man is older. I've seen him on camera, like, just putting around on his 4-wheeler and stuff on public and stuff. But the kids do now because they're probably my age or a little younger, and they for sure are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Starts all over again.
Yeah, apple doesn't fall from the tree.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I think in poor country, for sure, more prominent than not. I think in the farm community, like Coshocton area, I think you've got enough respect from, like, farm and landowner practices there that probably not as common. maybe you get some, whatever, whether it's kids that get drunk and drive through and do it or whatever. But
even if they're doing it on their own property, though, like family farm or whatever, that definitely happens.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah.
But that happens. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
or Kevin, sorry.
But I think probably when we start to look at like the poorer areas, Southeast Ohio, West Virginia, even Southern Indiana or Eastern Kentucky, probably much more common. And like honestly, if somebody's doing it to like feed their family, like my grandpappy used to tell me stories of that. He was like, we didn't have any food, so he's like, I just shot a deer and that's what they ate. Like, I don't got any beef with that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's doing that.
No,
they're not doing that anymore. No,
it's literally in Ohio.
It's for the antlers.
It's free. Like on your own property, like you can go shoot a deer.
Yeah, and
for your family.
And I'm sure they're not shooting does.
Right, they're not poaching does.
They're not poaching does. They're poaching bucks. Yeah.
What if there was a poaching ring out there that just exclusively shot does?
We need to broaden it out. Apparently,
we need to fund this organization.
Trophy doe poaching.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe get the CIA in.
Yeah. Teeth doe.
They like sold cocaine to the poor
That's
neighborhoods.
right. MK Ultra
Yeah.
status. We'll hand out crossbows with thermal scopes on them.
To all the hillbillies.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. Well, I mean, Kevin, we appreciate you doing the good fight. I mean, that's all you can do at least, and
we're gonna keep on trying.
Yeah,
it's kind of a grind. Like
I can only imagine, man.
It gets tiring, but then, I get phone calls from people all the time, and have a conversation with people that are, like big supporters, super grateful, and that kind of rejuvenates you and keeps you going.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, any kind of small victory or movement or anything like that, seems to be.
Is there anything, any kind of call to action that if this conversation resonates with people and they want to get involved somehow, or they have questions, or is there something that they can do to reach out to you guys, or
reach out through our website, reach out through our website, or
which is
on it's huntersadvocate.org.
Okay.
Or our Instagram, Hunters Advocate on Instagram.
And what would you like to hear from people? Like, hey, we're also experiencing this issue, or hey, I want to get involved.
We need more people involved for sure. So anybody looking to get involved in any part of the state, we'd love to hear from you. I would say definitely, like, everybody's got an idea on this or this, but if somebody, if somebody hears something I've said, or anybody and has input on it, or like, we're open. We want to hear from people.
What does involvement look like? I mean, are you guys taking donations? Are you fundraising? Are you looking for people to be at events? Like, what's that look like?
All of the above. We're definitely taking donations and fundraising. We just had our annual banquet, Jared, that you were at, and so that's kind of taken care of for the most part through that for the year. But we need more people involved. We want to do more events that get large groups throughout different parts of the state, do events, informative events, and just to rally people and talk to people, meet people. And I think it's really important to get, right now we're kind of localized in our area, and I really want to branch out, reach more people in different parts of the states, and do in different parts of Ohio, and do events that, fun events that people can attend, but also learn what we're about, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. That's the important part. Is a lot of people think like, oh, we're anti-baiting because, for ethical reasons, or I don't care if somebody shoots a deer over a corn pile. That's not what it's about for me. It's about what the corn pile is doing to our state and to our hunting.
That's a tough thing for people to understand and comprehend without having an actual discussion too.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like we hit those points at our events, and that's the biggest thing is we need personnel to help attend events, and even more people to, like, there's a lot of events to attend for, through the state. And once we, meet and talk to people and get more people involved in the organization, it's easier to have somebody at every wildlife council meeting and every state house event and, all these different things. I can't be at everything, which obviously we have Javen and Joe and all those guys helping. Which is huge. But that first year was really tough. Right when we first started, it was pretty much me. Dad helped a little bit, but it was pretty much me, and I was gone all the time.
Yeah, just bouncing.
Yeah. So the more people we get involved, the better.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, Zac, your season is looking pretty good so far.
So far, so
Back
good.
to Indiana.
Back to Indiana,
on
I guess.
a positive note here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe you top that in Indiana, maybe not. I mean,
I've been telling people if I never even see another one like that, I think I'll still die a happy man. So.
Well, I think, like you said earlier,
I don't think so. I think you're going on another one. That's
I
what
wouldn't be
want.
mad about it.
Yeah, you wouldn't be mad. But you have a good mindset on it of like, your expectations are what your expectations are,
Yep.
and so as you start chasing the next one, like, but that's a deer of a lifetime with the story as well,
Absolutely.
which is wild. Like to have all the pieces of the puzzle and stuff is
Yep.
really cool, man. So congrats on
Thank you.
an Ohio monster. They do exist against all odds.
They do.
They do exist. Okay, well, we appreciate everyone listening to this episode of HUNTR Podcast, and we will catch y'all next time.
Later.
Take me